Open your mind. The prophet of God. The prophet of God. You know. The prophet of God. The prophet of God. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind.
Peace, folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why you are here. Now, y'all know Wednesday nights, I know it's been a while, but the old Hours of Power is back. And tonight, we got three good goddamn guests. Hey, what's up, everybody? I see you up there. I see you, Lady Naeem. I see you, Brother Reed. Lady Poetic, I see you too. What's good? Yeah, we haven't been doing these Hours of Power that much because Wednesday is a rough day for a brother. Yeah, it's a rough day. But we got three people up here tonight. Tonight we're gonna be rocking out with Kandy Damn Man. That ought to be interesting. Black Uru Strikes, and my man, brother GraitBritton, will be up on here tonight as well. I don't know what happened to the Kandy Man. I did send him the link. Hopefully he decides to show up. But before we get started here on the old, as always, I have to thank y'all for your damn donations that you gave me last week. I mean, y'all are unbelievable, man. I mean, I look into my PayPal, man, and y'all know that the Proper Thought series is this big old platform, but the people who follow it have really big minds and really big hearts, because every week I got donations in there at the end of the damn show. And I know who it is. You guys who donate on a regular basis, you know who you are. And excuse me, I'm just I'm humbled, man, with how y'all support this platform. And when I say support, I don't just mean, with your money. Okay, of course, like I always say, dropping your coins is good. Anybody who say they don't like coin, they're telling a damn lie. But you don't have to drop coins on this platform for me to consider you a supporter. I consider you a supporter if you watch these videos, you share these videos, you like these videos, you hear every damn week. So I consider you. Oh, my man, what's good? That is Black in Japan, right? Yeah. What's good, BIJ? I see you up there, brother. Yeah. I mean, just because you drop money on me, you don't have to do that, to be considered a supporter. Um, like I said, you watch these videos, man, you hear every damn week, no matter what. So I consider you all supporters of this platform. Okay. Now, those of you who do drop coin on this platform, I have to, number one, thank you. I'm humble. I'm honored. I'm grateful. And I appreciate you, man. I do. I appreciate all of you out there, all of you. And I don't just say that to kiss your butts, because y'all already know that ain't X style. I say it because I really mean it. And I appreciate all of y'all, man. I do. I really do. I do. And I know I'll be coming up in this motherfucker late. Sometime the show's supposed to start at 9:30. I don't start the shit till 9:45. That's because shit be going on, y'all. I mean, I hate to keep saying it, but what I do for a living, man, it has me dragged out sometimes, man. And sometimes I don't even get back to the goddamn house till 9. So, I have to come in, clean up, because, I can't let y'all see me, all dirty with oil and shit on my face and shit like that. So, I come in here, I got to clean up, then I got to set up, get everything ready. So, y'all just going to have to bear with me this summer, man, because y'all know summers is rough for a brother. But I appreciate everybody being here. So let's go ahead and get with it on the old. Yeah. Like I said, I just sent Kandy Man the link before I got started, actually. So I don't know what happened to the brother. Let's see. I don't know what happened to him. Damn, y'all done dropped a couple donations on me already, man, and I ain't even started the show. See what I'm talking about? This is the type of fans that I have. I mean, y'all done drop. I'm looking at my email. I already got donations in here. I appreciate y'all, man. I do. I'm trying to find Candyman's email. I don't know what the hell happened to him. Shit, he might be over at Obsidian's next door. I don't know. Don't know. Well, this is what I'm going to do for the Candyman. Let's see. This is what I'm going to do. The Candyman. See. All right. Go ahead and do this. Maybe this might work. Bam. All right. It's been sent. So there it is. I sent it twice now. Yeah. So I figured tonight we'll do the hours of power. Also programming notes tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about men who have been forced to pay for child support, pay child support for children that aren't theirs. We're going to get into the whole child support thing. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be something that the brothers probably want to listen to. I'm trying to get a brother on here who it has happened to. I'm still working on it. Hopefully by the end of the night, he'll be gonna let me know whether or not he's gonna come tomorrow. But tomorrow, we're going to be talking about men who have been misled by baby mamas. So yeah, that's where we going tomorrow, because you know how old X is when it comes to these old mamas. So, you know, tomorrow we're gonna be throwing down with that. I might have a special guest. I might have a brother up here who it has happened to, where he fought it for like 10 years. Um, she just named him. You know, she just named him as the father. And when he got the papers served on him, he was nowhere around. They had sent the papers to an old address. So they basically just they just made him the father by default. So he was on the hook. Okay. And then he was able to prove that the baby was not his, and they still was making him pay. And he fought that shit for many, many years. So I'm trying to get that brother on tomorrow. That's why I'm not saying his name, just in case, I can't get him. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do for tomorrow. So make sure you have your black behinds here tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, DXL Dark Exodus Live. It's gonna be crazy tomorrow because we're gonna be talking some shit. Because I got some damn child support stories that I can tell you myself. So just make sure you have your behinds here tomorrow. I don't know what happened to the Kandy man. I have no idea. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and send, because I think Black Uru was down at Obsidian's as well. So let me see. Kandy man ducked out on the brother. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll send the link to Black Uru. Maybe he could come on early, because I don't know what the hell happened to Kandy man. I thought the Kandy man can. I guess the Kandy man can't. I guess he can't. I guess the Kandy man can't. All right. I'm going to go ahead and send it to Black Guru. So he can go ahead and have it. All right. There's that. All right. Now, tonight, I don't know. Why the hell are my lights flickering in this motherfucker? What the hell is going on in here? Yeah, tonight, as normal on the Hours of Power, we was just gonna kind of throw down a little bit, and interview, I should bring my man freaking BIJ on. I ain't talked to the brother in a minute. BIJ, you still in the chat, man? BIJ, you still in the chat? Guess not. I guess not. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna bullshit, being that the Kandy man didn't show up. Stood me up, Kandy man. Be looking for your ass on the internet, brother. Oh shit. Stood me up, man. But what's good, brother Tyrone? I see you up there, man. I see you too, WOTP. Now, I want to tell y'all something. Today, right? I went out to the store, right? And let me tell y'all, I'm gonna ask y'all if I'm tripping or if I'm not. All right. I went to the store today, right? And when I got inside the store, there was a dude in there, right? And the dude, he was standing inside the store. You know how sometimes you come to a store, dudes be standing around in there and shit, right? So he was standing around in there, And he asked me, he's like, yo, bro, can you spare $1? And I don't have a problem getting brother $1 too. I don't care about that shit. I just reached in my pocket and grabbed like $2, $3 worth of change that I just had and, gave him the shit, right? So I gave him the shit. I got my shit out the store and I walked out the store. Now, when I get out the store, there's some girl out there, right? And I don't know, she must have been watching me. She must have been in the store, watching me in the store, something like that. And, she, asked me that I have $1 too. And see, me, I don't believe in giving women money. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in giving, if a brother on the side of the road, he need a couple dollars, I don't have a problem giving it to him. But women, I don't get him shit. Yeah, I don't get him no money. So I was like, nah. I was like, I ain't, nah. And I kept on walking. She was like, oh, you're going to do me like that? I just saw you give him some money. So I stopped and I turned around. I said, wait a damn minute. I said, you're going to try to tell me when, who, and how I should give my money to? Just because you saw me give him a few dollars, that means I should give you a few dollars too? And she was like, oh, that's not right. That's, what the hell did she say? She said, that's, what the hell? Damn, I can't even get the word top of my chauvinism. She was like, oh, that is so chauvinistic. Now, mind you, she's standing out there looking like she done just been ran over by the ugly truck and then backed over by that same truck. And then whatever garbage the truck had on it, they dumped it all over her clothes. And she's like, oh, well, that's chauvinistic. You're going to give it to him. And I'm like, lady, please. I said, I'm not even going to have this conversation with you because I'm in a hurry. I said, but just know this. Know this. You can't be telling people what to do with their goddamn money. Okay? Now, I got in my shit. I got in my truck and I left. And as I was riding down the road, I was thinking, I was like, damn, I said, I've never been called, a chauvinist before. That's not something that I've ever been called was like a chauvinist. Oh, you're a chauvinist. And I definitely never been called by no chauvinist by some female bum. I never, definitely never been called that. I mean, this girl actually said that I was a chauvinist because I gave the brother a couple dollars in the store, and I guess she was watching me and saw that I had a few dollars, and I told her no. So she called me a chauvinist because I gave the brother money and didn't give her shit. But I pretty much told her flat out that, nah, I don't believe in, giving women money on the side of the street. I mean, that's not my shit. That ain't my thing. A brother's one thing. A brother need a few dollars, because where I'm at, you always see that. I mean, it's hard to go to a store and not see 1, 2, 3 motherfuckers standing out there need 50 cents, $1, 75 cents. They need a light. They want a cigarette. That's nothing unusual, here in the Queen City. All right. But I've also seen chicks doing the same thing, and I don't give chicks nothing. I mean, I ain't giving no woman no money. She's standing out there begging on the side of the road. Number one, she's more likely to get help than a brother can. Okay, that's just a fact. All right. Number two, all right, she can get out that motherfucker and do all kinds of shit and get money. She can, if she that bad off, she can get into a shelter. She can go down to welfare and all these places. She can do that more readily than a man can. Okay, that's just a fact. So when I see women out there begging and shit, I don't give them shit. All right, I don't. No matter what kind of sob story they play me or, what kind of crisis they claim they in, I don't care. I don't give the women shit. That's just not my thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Because you're more likely to get help before a brother will. So, I'm just not going to do it. And she actually, yeah, right. Shit, show some leg. Shit, she a female. She can get out that motherfucker, suck some balls. Okay, she can go ahead and give motherfuckers some of that pussy. That's what they do when they want crack and shit. They strung up on that crack and shit, right? They get out there, they throw them legs open, give up some of that pussy and suck balls and everything else. So, I mean, I ain't trying to give a woman shit out there begging. I'm just not gonna do it, man. Something inside me just will not let me do it. Brothers, I get tired of them too, but I'm more likely to get him something than give one of them old freaking chicks standing out there begging. You know, I'm just not going to do it because, like I said, she can readily get help more, probably quicker than any brother can. Okay, that's just a fact. All right, even if she homeless, she more likely to get a place to freaking lay down than the brother is. All right, and guess what? Other people will give her money. They don't have no problem giving her money. Yeah, she stand out there begging. See me, I'm not going to do it. That's against everything I'm against. So am I wrong? Am I wrong because I gave the brother $2-3 and then get a chick nothing? Am I wrong for that? Does that make me a chauvinist, y'all? Does it? You decide. I know what I think. Okay, I know what I think, but you decide if old X is a chauvinist because he refused to give this old begging ass woman money. Is he a chauvinist? I mean, I only give one woman money. Okay, well, actually, that's not true. Three. Give 3 women money. Okay, wife, my 2 daughters. It's about it. I mean, I'm not gonna give women money. All right, that's just don't seem like the thing to do. The type of person that I am, I don't think that I should be giving women money. I mean, even women that's standing out there begging on the side of the road, ain't gonna give them no money, man. I'm just not. Call me what you want to call me, but yeah, the freaking the lady bum called old X a chauvinist because I wouldn't give her $2, and then had the nerve to say, "Oh, I saw you gave him money." I was like, "What?" She said, "I saw you give him money, but you can't give me $1." I'm like, "What?" Brother Tony, what's good, man? This shit was kind of crazy, y'all. And I'm riding away, I'm driving away and shit. I drive away. I'm like, man, freaking hoe is crazy. She actually gonna try to beat me in the head. I've never been, the funny part about it is I've never been shamed by some beggar. Beggars don't usually shame you. They don't try to shame you. You know, they either get $1 from you or they don't. I mean, she was trying to shame a brother out there because I told her no. Okay, because I told her no, she made an attempt to shame me out that motherfucker. Oh shit, man. Even when, this is the crazy thing, man. This is what's really crazy about it, y'all. Even when a female is in dire straits, okay, living from pillar to post, probably got a tent in the damn woods some goddamn where. She's standing out there begging for $1 or 2, right? But will still try to shame you as if you are lesser than. Like, how you get off trying to shame me? You standing up here looking like you had the same clothes on for days and just rolling around in somebody's garden with it. And guess what? You're smelling like you had them on for days and rolling around in somebody's garden with them. But you're trying to shame me? She was dirtier than I was, and I'm a damn mechanic. She was dirtier than me, and I'm a freaking mechanic. She looked like she looked like she looked like one of my guys looking shit, just covered with soot. But she trying to shame me. I mean, is it no end to this shit? Do females just try to shame you right off top? Is that the default setting? Oh, good luck on that super chat, brother Tony. Appreciate that, man. Do they try to? And I almost forgot this shit. I said I'm gonna bring this shit up tonight when I go on the freaking live and shit. I mean, is that their default setting to just freaking just shame you, even though there's some begging bum that freaking lives behind McDonald's? Like, I mean, she went there, man. Yeah, the chick, she went there. Like, oh, you're a chauvinist. Man, I came to a complete stop and turned around. I was like, what, girl? Are you attempting to shame me? As if that's going to get $1 out of my pocket. And the crazy thing is, I think I've seen her around somewhere before. You know, I think I've seen her, somewhere else begging. I'm like, man, I guess when she see me next time, she's probably just not even going to bother, talk to me, she'll probably give me the hand, they'll give you the hand, some old bum asshole give you the hand and shit like, she gonna give me the dirty hand and shit, man. It's crazy. It's insanity, man. I don't know what this world is coming to sometimes, man, because you encounter these things, man, and they puzzle you. All right. They puzzle you because it's like, this isn't the way shit is supposed to be. It's just not. Now, mind you, you got a lot of people who will say, because see, people like backstories, no matter what you talk about, people always want to go to the backstory. Well, you don't know what her story is, because that's the first thing I heard when I told someone about it. And of course, that someone was a female. The first thing they said, oh, you don't know what her story is. Who gives a shit what her story is? She don't give a shit what my story is, right? Hey, what's good, Cap? I see you up there. I mean, she don't give a shit what my story is, right? Like, why is it that we got to be concerned with somebody's backstory? It's just like when we talking about a lot of the shit we talk about on the internet, man. When we talk about black society and we talk about the poverty and the crime and the baby mamas and all this kind of shit, the first thing somebody want to say is, oh man, you don't know their story. What difference does it make what their story is, man? What difference does it make? This is what's going on right now. All right? The freaking woman was begging me for money today. I don't know what the hell happened to her yesterday, last week, last month, last year, nor do I give a shit, because if I knew the story, it still wouldn't have made me gave her $1 or $2. It just wouldn't have. No matter what the story was, no matter what they would have said, it wouldn't have changed anything. So who gives a shit about the story? Who cares? You think anybody care about my story? Okay, you think anybody care about how hard I work and how my fingers and arms and legs and everything else get cut up and stabbed and chemicals in my eyes and destroying cell phones with equipment and all that kind of crap? What's good, Cool Jen? I see you up there, brother. You think anybody cares about that story? Huh? You think anybody cares how hard it was for me to start my goddamn business? You think anybody cares how much I go through trying to get my money from people who owe me? You think anybody care how hard it is for me to maintain supplies, inventory, parts? Huh? So when people start talking that, oh, you don't know her story crap, I can't listen to that shit, man. We always got to know somebody's story. Who gives a shit about their story, man? Who cares? Who cares? No one cares about the story, man. People care about what's happening right here, right now, today. No one gives a damn about how you got here. They don't. Good, bad, or ugly, okay? Just like people don't care about the good of your story. If your story's good and you made it somewhere, no one cares about that. All they care about is the end result. That's it. Especially a brother like me. They don't care about any of that. But you are supposed to care about how they got to where they got to, even though they don't give a shit about how you got to where you are. Come on, man. We got to stop that shit, man. It's so backwards. It's very, very backwards. All right. Damn the story. Okay. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with a brother like me, the damn story don't mean anything to me anyway. It just doesn't. Doesn't mean anything to me, man. All I know is you standing out here begging for some goddamn money. That's it. I don't know why. I don't know, what your crisis was, or how you lost your job, or how you lost your house. Or I don't need to know any. I don't need to know any of that anyway. I don't need to know any of that shit. Shit. What if I went around? What if I went around and just, telling people my long drawn out journey from the time I was a young guy up until now? People be like, damn, man, we don't care about this shit. They'd be like, X, we don't give a shit about this, man. Bring on the dancing girls, Negro. People don't care about that shit, man. They don't care. They don't. They don't. So there you have it. But yeah, I just want to share that with y'all, man, because I thought that was a weird moment today, man. The fact that I was almost got shamed. I almost got shamed by some female beggar, okay, who was begging me for money. Now, after she begged me for money, she attempted to shame me. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? But yeah, like I said, man, I don't know what happened to Kandy, man. Maybe he forgot. Did speak to him the other day, and I told him we're gonna throw down up here on the. But somehow he didn't make it here. So in the meantime, of course, I'm just up here talking shit, telling y'all about the shit that I do throughout the day. What I do want to tell y'all though is that I might be moving to a radio station. Now I might, well, probably not might, more than likely, I'm going to stay here on YouTube, as long as I guess I can. But I am working on getting on a radio station. I don't want to mention it now because it's still in the works. It's still in the back channels. Because, those of you who have followed me for a while, y'all know that I used to be on a radio station before. I used to work for Nubia Hood Radio. But I am trying to I'm in talks with a radio station right now, y'all. When those talks are complete, and I know that I'm going to go ahead and, be on the radio, I will let y'all know. I will give y'all the information. I will tell y'all about the station, where you can find me, the name of it, and all of that kind of stuff. But nothing has been written in stone just yet. But be looking for that, because y'all know, this whole YouTube thing is going to make a transition eventually. Now, I don't think that it's going to be that much different. I mean, everybody's like, oh my God, Hangouts is leaving. I don't think it's going to be all of that. Because number one, YouTube makes a lot of money off of this Hangout crap. So, of course, they're not going to get rid of it. All right. They're probably going to make it different, but I do believe that people are still going to be able to do this Hangout crap. Yeah, you're still going to be able to do it. You're just going to be doing it under a different format with a different device. It's probably have a little more bells and whistles, but I don't think, this whole Hangout live shit is going away. I mean, it just doesn't seem like that's something they would just, slice and get rid of. There's too much money involved. There's too much money involved. So they're not going to get rid of it. Plus not only that, when they started this crap, man, they started it for white folks, and white folks have been utilizing it for a long time. So I don't think they're going to totally get rid of it. I think they're just going to turn it into something totally different. I think it'll still have the pretty much same functionality. It just won't be called Hangouts anymore. It'll be called some other shit. That's all it's gonna be, man. I don't think it's gonna be the end of YouTube as we know it. I just don't think that. I don't think that's the. Just don't think that's the case. All right. I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're gonna get rid of this shit. I think we still gonna be able to get up here and run our damn mouths and talk about all kinds of shit, like we've been doing, and you'll still be able to freaking stream it and it'll still record and still go on your damn YouTube page and all of that. But like I said, I am in some negotiations with the radio station, and yeah, I think I want to get back into a little bit of radio, here and there. I don't know how, I don't know how much I'm going to be doing. Um, Maybe once a week, twice a week, depends on what it is. So y'all be looking out. Y'all be looking out for that. You know, y'all be looking out for that, because yeah, things are changing around here at the old T.P.O.T headquarters. Things are going to be quite different. Yeah, brother Cool Gent. Yeah, everybody trying to get that last showing, because tomorrow is the YouTube apocalypse. Tomorrow is the YouTube apocalypse. So, everybody trying to get that last show in before Hangouts die, not knowing that, man, when you wake up tomorrow, guess what? Guess what? When you wake up tomorrow, you'll still be able to do a damn live stream. I guarantee it, man. I guarantee it. They're not going to get rid of this shit. They're not. There's too much money involved, man. Too much money involved. They're just going to change it. They're going to make it different. They're going to change it. And far as the consumers go, because we're just like consumers, people like us, we don't have these big productions and shows and all this kind of nonsense, 4 and 5 people sitting on a panel and all this cameras, studio and shit. We don't have that. We're just basic consumers. So it'll probably change for us last anyway. Tomorrow, the big YouTube business, that shit that none of us are a part of, the big YouTube business shit, their shit's probably going to change a little bit. They're going to have to adapt. But us, as far as these little hangouts and shit go, it probably won't even change immediately for us, man. Yeah, they get to us last, man. We're just freaking consumers. That's all we are. That's it. That's it, man. Shit, we ain't special. Shit, they're going to get to us when they get to us. Okay, they taking care of that big business where them millions of dollars come in from the people who got those shows that got 4 and 5 cameras and shit hooked up and all that kind of shit. Those people, their shit's probably going to change a little bit tomorrow. But guess what? They're ready for it because they've known about it. So they're ready for it. All right. See, us, the reason why we like, oh my God, we don't know what's going to happen. Because, see, we're not ready for it. We don't know what the hell we're going to do. We have no idea what we're going to do. Because, see, we don't know what's coming down the pipe. We don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, we have no idea. We don't know if we're going to look up tomorrow and when we go to hit that live button, it just don't work. You know how you be hitting a button on your computer and the shit just ain't working? You're like, what the hell's going on? See, that's our fear. That we're going to be hitting that live button and nothing's going to happen. Yeah, it's what we think. But I don't think it's going to be that, y'all. I think we're making a little more out of it than it really is, man. Yeah, exactly, Brother Tony. Because everybody's talking about it, the YouTube apocalypse, as if it's going to be the end of the world, It's the end of YouTube. We won't be able to do Hangouts anymore. Because a lot of people, this shit is their life, right? A lot of people, this shit is their life. Yeah, it's their life. So they are really afraid that they can't come on here, man, and watch their favorite YouTube personalities. Or they're not going to be able to do what they want to do on their damn Hangouts. Yeah, man, because some people, this shit is their life, man. This shit is their life. It is. And I'm not even talking about the people who actually make a living from it. You can understand someone who makes a living on YouTube. You can understand this being their life because this is their livelihood. But you got people on here who ain't making a damn dime. But guess what? On here every day, all day, They're in every chat room. They're trying to be on every panel. Make it not a damn dime. Those are the people who are the most afraid. Because, see, this shit here is their life. It's the shit that keep them going, man. They can't wait to get that goddamn notice on the right hand corner of their screen that somebody going live. They can't wait. They bounce from panel to panel to panel to panel, chat room to chat room to chat room to chat room, all day long, every day. You trying to tell me this person has a life? Ain't nowhere in the hell I can be on YouTube every day, all day. Number one, I can't afford it, okay? Because I'd be hunting my own food, living in the woods, and riding a bicycle if I'm on freaking YouTube every day, all day. Not gonna happen. So, I mean, when you got a person that's on this motherfucker all day, every day, Monday through goddamn Sunday, you got to question what kind of life this person has, man. Unless they just rich and they just sit around, just be on YouTube, you know, and they got plenty of money and all this kind of nonsense. I mean, shit. I mean, I don't, like I tell everybody, this ain't how I make my bones, okay? I work for a living. Been running my own business for 5 years. Business is doing pretty damn good this year. That's why my ass always late and tired as hell. But yeah, I don't make my bones on YouTube. Just don't. This is something that I do because I like doing it. Like getting up here fucking with y'all, talking shit. You know, I mean, I don't make my bones here. I mean, I say this all the time, and I'll say it again tonight. If somebody fucking launched a missile into YouTube headquarters and blew that motherfucker up, that shit wouldn't have any effect on my bottom line whatsoever. It just wouldn't. Wouldn't stop anything. Okay, I'd still have my house, my cars, my everything else, my business. I mean, that shit means nothing, you know? And what I do is I try not to take this shit too seriously, you know? That in itself, to me, is something that I have to maintain control over. Try not to take this shit too seriously, man. Can't take it too seriously, man. It's fucking YouTube. You know? It's YouTube now, it's YouTube forever. It's never going to be anything different, man. It's just a fact. So, I mean, I'm never going to get myself so caught up and try to take this shit so seriously, you know? Because first and foremost, I say again, this is media, man. I close this goddamn laptop. That's it. Everybody goes away. All right? Y'all never hear from me again. I'll never hear from you again. Okay? I wouldn't know any of you if I didn't have a computer. Wouldn't know who any of you are. Wouldn't know anything about you if I was a person who didn't have a computer. And like I always say, social media ain't socializing. It's just not. Now, we've tried to substitute social media with socializing, but it's not a good substitute. Because what it has done, it's numbed our sensibilities. What's good, brother BMT? I see you up there, man. You know? I mean, it has numbed our sensibilities is what it's done. That's all it's done, man. Well, we done been joined by brother Black Uru Strikes. What's good, man?
Hey, how you doing, brother? Thanks for having me. It's an honor to get such a request from an esteemed brother in this space like yourself.
Oh, absolutely, man. Here on the Hours of Power, man. You know, I usually do this every Wednesday. I have been slacking off because Wednesday's been a rough day for me. You know, that's my mobile day. So sometimes, man, I don't even get back, you know, to my crib till like 10 o'clock at night because, you know, I have to travel out, do mobile calls and shit. So, you know, but I'm starting.
Hard working black businessman.
Yeah.
I love that about you.
I'm trying, man. I work hard now so I can quit working in about another 6 years.
I heard that. I heard that. I work similarly myself.
Yeah, man.
So I know that very well.
Yeah, I'm trying to quit, man. I don't want to be in my 60s and shit and still working, man. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to
Back
do it.
start curving on your knees, start buckling,
man. I already told my lady, man, I'm like, shit, I'm only gonna do this shit for like another 5-6 years, because eventually I want to get to, well, the business that I have can run itself now, but I don't know if it can run itself efficiently. Because see, now I have to be there every day. You know, I got to be there every day. You know, I might could take a day off here and there, but for the most part, I have to be there. So I'm looking within the next 5 to 6 years to have someone who can run it efficiently, where I don't have to be there every single damn day. That's what I'm working towards. So it can run itself and my ass can be somewhere efficient. That's what I'm trying to do. All right.
Well, it sounds like, and I talked to you earlier about, I think it was yesterday, maybe, how your business has progressed in a relatively short period of time. So based on what you described in terms of how things are trending, looks like you should be where you're trying to go.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there, Black Guru. I mean, you know, I'm shocked. This time last year, my business has tripled since this time last year. Yeah, it's tripled. It has tripled.
You'll be able to retire in 3 years, man.
I hope so. I certainly hope. That's the plan. I'm giving it 5 or 6. I'm willing to work 5 to 6 more years. Okay. You know, I just want to chill out, man. Like I said, I don't want to be in my 60s and shit. Right. I want to spend time fishing. Right. I want to be somewhere fishing, you know, maybe letting my grandkids bug the shit out of me, that kind of shit. You know, I don't want to be fucking sun up because I'm sun up to sundown now. I mean, up until like last week, man, I had worked like 20 some odd days straight, man, including Sunday, you know, sun up to sundown. So, you know, I want to get away from that, and I want to spend the rest of my life doing that. You know, I just don't. I mean, I just don't.
Well, you definitely are an inspiration in this arena, both in terms of obviously what you do here, the rather mature professionalism in which you interview and engage your interviewees, and of course in your personal life. I've heard a few things about, you know, you're a family man as well as a hardworking businessman. So it's definitely a pleasure and an honor to talk with someone like yourself, and for someone like yourself to express some interest in talking to you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on, man, and I appreciate those comments, man. I mean, up here. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, every now and then, old X will dig into the fuckery too. Yeah, we'll dig into the fuckery. But
your black folks gotta engage.
Yeah, but what I've been trying to do, brother Black Guru, I've been trying to kind of get away from that. You know, well, not get away from it, but maybe not do it so much. I mean, when I'm on somebody else's panel, the topic is the topic. You know what I'm saying? The topic is the topic. But when I'm on my shit, I try to make the topics a little different, you know, talk about a little bit of different stuff here and there. And like I said, you know, sometimes it will delve into the fuckery, but you know, I try to stay away from that as much as possible. The people I bring on are usually very, you know, they're very highbrow people, professional people, and if they're not, they do a good job of pretending when they're here. So yeah. You know, and I've had some of everybody on here.
I'll let you decide which I am.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, I've had some of everybody on here. There's not too many people that hasn't came through the doors of T.P.O.T. That's just a fact. My platform is small, but it's got a long reach. And, you know, I'm aligned with a lot of good people. So, I mean, you look through my archives, man, some of your favorite YouTubers, they've been right here. Yeah,
sure.
They've been right here.
Yeah,
right
I mean, and I've seen some of those and learned a lot about them, and it was good because you very often on their individual channels you get a somewhat limited view of the person, or you know, but in your arena here, it's been interesting to see how broadly you got into some of their way of thinking, maybe their background, history, or things of that nature, and it really kind of helps to flesh out that person and kind of gives you a different perspective of where they're coming from. And in a couple of cases, it probably did influence my view on the part of the person. I think I'm pretty sure I subscribed to a couple of folks based on seeing a couple of your interviews. So you've been very effective, irrespective of the so-called scale of what you do. You've been very effective at influencing things beyond and within the manosphere.
Yeah, well, I try. I try. I like doing this, but I try not to take it too seriously. I'm not into roasting people. When people come on my show, they know they can feel comfortable. I'm not going to roast you. I'm not going to try to get a aha, gotcha moment. That's not who I am. I ask you a question, you answer it, that's it. I go on to the next question. A lot of times people do give me heat. Oh man, you should have asked them about this, should have asked them about that. I'm like, man, they're coming on. It's like somebody coming to my house. I'm sitting down talking to them. I'm not going to try to disrespect them. I'm not going to try to roast them. I'm not going to try to corner them. I'm not going to try to make them feel uncomfortable. That defeats the whole purpose of me having them on. So I mean, that's just not my thing. I stay away from that stuff. That's other people's side of the block, man. I stay off of that side of that side of the block. That's kind of who I am, man. That's my personality. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you rub me the wrong fucking way, I could come back at you like a dragon if you rub me the wrong way. But that's not my temperament. That's not my style, and that's not how I do my platform. So, I just try to stay away from that bullshit, man. There's enough of that bullshit out there. Don't nobody need me adding to it.
Well, I like to think that there is some cathartic effect to a lot of what goes on here. I know I've been witness to recent troubles in the tremors in the force, I guess, as of late, and from my own perspective, I think the pessimism is a bit overdone. You get a little older, you have a tendency to see things more over a period of time, and you see things kind of like more as an ebb and flow. You don't just look at the peaks, but you also realize that at some point there are going to be some valleys. You realize there's going to be a little turmoil, some change, some new people come in, some old people go out. Um, that type of strife is just kind of a natural part of the birthing of this particular environment, the birthing essentially of the voice of Black men in a very new way. And so I'm very optimistic and very kind of proud of what I have witnessed for the most part in this area, notwithstanding all of the fuckery and all of the finger pointing, and obviously I don't appreciate the doxing or that type of thing. I mean that's just wrong and frankly illegal. So I would hope more of us would be a little bit more wise about that type of thing. But for the most part, I'm really proud of what I've seen. I've been observing things for 3 or so years now, and I'm very hopeful about the direction in which things are going.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm Pollyanna or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, me too. I mean, because I have taken a liking, to a lot of brothers, on here. A lot of brothers I listen to. Some of them I probably shouldn't listen to because they probably alter the way I think and operate sometime. But I listen to a lot of brothers. I have an affinity for a lot of brothers, and I do believe that some of these brothers are making an impact, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. And I don't agree with what everybody says on YouTube, but I do agree that they have a right to say it. So I mean, because whatever I don't like, I can easily just, turn off. So I'm never going to be a person to say, oh, you shouldn't have said that or you shouldn't have said this. No, I mean, if you saying some shit that I don't like, I just don't watch you. That's pretty much how it is. I'm not gonna berate you. I'm not gonna come in your comment section and berate you. I'm not gonna write a bunch of negative comments in your comment section on your pre-recorded videos. Nah, I'm just not gonna watch your shit. I'm not gonna sit there and keep telling you how much I hate you. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I can show you how much I hate you by not watching you. That's kind of my take on it, man. Like I said, I don't take this stuff too seriously, and not everybody needs to know that I don't like them.
Exactly.
Okay? Yeah, you don't need
And
to know that.
sometimes I try to fancy myself as being a little more open-minded than guys my age. I'm pushing 60. So guys my age tend to be, black men, I guess in particular, my age tend to be. I try to be open-minded. I try to be accepting of different perspectives. I grew up in Chicago in I guess the late 60s on leading on into uh, the early 80s, and saw a lot of different things go down. A lot of different people, uh, many of them family members, may have had different ways of living. Some of them a little more coarse and frankly more perilous than that I may have chosen for myself. But I still view them as family, and in some cases friends, or particularly guys I grew up with. We still had a connection, even in spite of the fact that on some significant things we disagreed. And so I just kind of take that type of mentality into this space as I do, or have other spaces or environments I've been in. And frankly, I've been surprised often at how much I have come to appreciate certain people who initially bothered me. I've been pleasantly surprised a few times. Very often, from what I've witnessed, I won't say any names, but very often, you get that initial first impression, somewhat bombastic, uh, presentation that someone comes in, and I have this. Black men tend to do a lot of peacocking, kind of black male peacock syndrome or whatever. And so consequently, when we get in these spaces and there's a lot of ego, and I'm gonna make my voice heard, or I'm gonna convince you of my message. And of course there are women around, so obviously there's some preening for the women as well. So I can kind of understand why initially I may be bothered by some of what I'm doing, because I think a lot of it is ego and sort of dick measuring and that type of thing. But often once you get past that initial stage and you maybe give someone a chance to get some level of depth of their perspective, you may find you have more in common in perspective than you do not.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, because I've had my run-ins, with a few individuals here and there. I've never put a lot of weight on it. Some of that stuff I just kind of ignore. I mean, because I'm a grandfather. Okay,
Mhm.
I have grandchildren,
Mhm.
so the last thing I need to be doing is up here going back and forth with somebody on damn YouTube.
Yeah.
I make a video, they make a video. I make a video, they make. If you say something that I don't like, or you come at me directly, I mean, depending on what you're talking about, I will address it. Okay. Um, I've never jumped on people, just for the sake of jumping on them. I've never, just talk crap about people for the simple sake of talking crap about them. That's not who I am. All right. That's the stuff I kind of stay the hell away from as far as I can. I don't do the back and forth. I don't make I think I've been on YouTube for like maybe 4 or 5 years. I think I've made 2 diss videos, okay, the whole time. Only because somebody attacked, my whole crew, and me and the crew, we all did it. The last one I did make, I made that defending someone else. So I wasn't even defending myself when I made it. I made the video defending someone else. So, you know, I mean, that's not who I am, man. I don't, if someone came at me now, man, I probably wouldn't even address that shit, man. I'd probably just brush it off, you know, unless they kept coming at me. And then that would probably change things. But I mean, other than that, man, I don't get involved with none of that crap, man. I don't have time for it. I mean, usually when I sit up here at night, guess what? I'm so goddamn tired. All right. That the last thing I want to be doing is sitting up here going back and forth with somebody, man, over some stupid freaking YouTube beef because somebody said something, or, you know, I said something that got them offended, and, you know, they might have thought I was talking to them personally or whatever the case may be. I mean, I'm not even trying to get entangled in that kind of crap, man. I just don't have time for it. But
well, we're a little older, so
yeah,
you know. I mean, I guess at the risk of insulting younger people, you know, we probably grew up a little bit around more men,
mm-hmm.
you know, and so you know, there's just a different kind of energy that develops within you when you've been raised around men, and you have had to look to, you know, what's real, you know, what's really consequential, and what's just emotion and just hyperbole and
bravado,
exaggeration. Man. Exactly. And like I say, preening and whatever. So, I mean, I've had a couple of little squabbles. Usually it's with some younger brother who, you know, I guess wants to punish me because I'm, you know, one of those bastard baby boomers. You know? There seems to be a kind of a developing baby boomer witch hunt occurring in the black manosphere.
Yeah, well, they blame the boomers and the Gen Xers.
Yeah.
They blame us, you know, for all the shit that's wrong. You know, it's all our fault that, you know, the black society is the way that it is. It's all our fault, you know, for the baby mamas and the crime and everything else. Right. It's all Gen Xers and boomers' fault. You know, that's kind of,
you know. And I recently was having a debate with another content creator who very young, brilliant young man. I think you've even interviewed him. And of course, he was doing the blame the boomer thing. And you know what I was alerting him to was that a lot of the policies that have created many of the problems, you know, a lot of the signing off on the feminist stuff, and a lot of the, you know, stuff that affected, you know, the drugs and crack, and particularly the enforcement related to a lot of those activities. You know, those laws were all created by the greatest generation and the silent generation folks. I mean, those were older folks. Like Reagan was the one who gave us no fault divorce, for example. But Reagan was, I think he may have even been pre greatest generation. You know, I mean, so a lot of why we're here with the struggles we have are the results of decisions of men and a few women that have long since died. You know, and you know, we can debate the merits of why certain decisions were made, or maybe there was some sort of surreptitious or ill intent associated with many of those things, some malevolent intent associated with a lot of the feminist policy, but they're gone. And now it's like us boomers and us Gen Xers are like, if anything, we were more kind of impacted by many of these decisions as much as having made the decision. You know, now the boomer generation is the largest generation, I guess, ever in American history or recorded in American history. So the impact of our missteps were going to have an outsized effect on the country as a whole, and thus the source of many of the complaints that younger folks are engaging.
Absolutely. But you know, it all comes down to, you know, society is always going to change, man. It's never going to stay the same. The question is, what kind of change is it going to is going to take place? Is it going to be a change for the better or a change for the worse? Society is always going to change, man. You know, because none of us are doing the same things we would be doing 30 years ago. Okay. Just like none of us are going to be doing the same thing 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. Society is going to be different. All right. I mean, 30 years ago, there was no this. All right. There was no
Mm-hmm.
hangouts. There was no
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, you know. So, I mean, society is changing. I think media has a big part of it because now everything is real time. You know, you don't really have to socialize. You don't have to meet people. You don't have to shake hands. You don't have to look people in the eye. You don't have to do any of that. So, what media has done is it's helped with the complicity, okay? Because you can sit on here all day and talk to I don't know how many people and actually feel like you accomplished something. Yeah, you feel like you accomplished something sitting in your damn chair, okay, in front of your microphone, in front of your camera, feeling like you accomplished something. And in reality, you haven't done anything because you haven't even left your house. Yeah, you might have talked to I don't know how many people today, but you haven't even left out your damn chair. You haven't even left out your house. You know, it's people who sit up on these damn they sit up on these damn hangouts and lives and shit. They probably sitting there shit in their drawers, you know. Yeah, they're sitting in
And
there,
wearing some diapers.
yeah, you know, sitting in there with adult diapers on, you know, trying to drop gems and shit, you know. And you can get away with it because see, all you got to do is put your avatar up.
Yeah,
No one knows
yeah.
what the hell you're doing. No one knows what you're doing. You could be on the toilet. You could be
Yeah,
in the bed. All
yeah.
right. You can be outside. You can be in grandma's basement. No one knows what you're doing.
I mean, if you don't, I don't know, see, pick, or even like hear a voice, you know, like in the way we're engaged, you don't even know if it's like a male or female. You know, if
Exactly.
it's just a chat, you know, chat room type of thing. Yeah, I mean, the
And
anonymity is a good thing in many respects, but it does breed a certain degree of a lack of accountability, you know, for some of what some people do, and it sort of encourages a type of nastiness, you know, within us. You know, the whole well, no one's going to find out who I am or whatever, or at least that's what someone may believe. So it does encourage an amount of nastiness that we could probably do better without in this arena. Again, over again seeing it from a trajectory standpoint, I do think it's overall positive because I do think some things do need to be said, and I do think some things need to be said somewhat painfully to some of us, maybe to all of us, depending on who's actually saying it. You know, so a lot of the criticism of women, for example, very painful stuff. A lot of it very shocking, I'm sure, to many women. Things they've never heard or maybe even believed men could say or would say they see and witness them saying. Um, yeah, it's quite jarring and unsettling. But, you know, a lot of things happen that got us to this point. And most of those things that happened, you know, black men in particular had no control over at all. In fact, if anything, we were the target of many of those things. We were the whipping boy, so to speak. We were cannon fodder. I've heard that phrase used. We were lab rats. You know, I mean, so much of the policy of this country has been geared in some way specifically towards using black men for some sort of material to exact some agenda for which we would reap no benefit, actually detriment. In so many ways, we've been negatively impacted. So for black men, young black men, older black men to finally start to assert their voice, even in this arena here, anonymous or not, I just think it's a revelation, and I think it eventually, ultimately, will serve us well, including even those of us who may be the targets of some of, at least in the short term.
Yeah. I mean, you think about the stuff that you hear on media, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the stuff that you hear on media, you more than likely won't hear too much of it anywhere else, because you're not going to get too many people who, like, take for a panel of guys. You got 9, 10 guys on a panel, right? And we all have the same kind of point of view about something. It's not that often that you go somewhere else and you find that many people with the same point of view. Nor do you go places that often and find so many people who are, like, at each other's throats due to their points of view.
Mhm.
Now, we often hear that, this stuff that we talk about is like barbershop talk. It may be barbershop talk now, but I don't think it was barbershop talk 20 years ago. I don't think we talked, especially when it comes to things like women and society and all that kind of stuff. I don't think we were talking that kind of talk that much. I mean, you had, some brothers, the brothers who talked that talk, those were the brothers who were like outside of the mainstream. You
Mhm.
know, it was the Muslims or the NOIs or the Hebrew
Mhm.
Israelites. They were the ones doing most of that kind of talk. Now it's like all of us, especially on media. And when it comes to like women, what I think has happened with women is women are not used to brothers saying the things they say.
Mhm.
Brothers, they're not used to brothers vocalizing their disdain with many women. They're not used to brothers vocalizing their disappointment, not vocalizing, their sheer, because what were we taught when we were younger? Um, you gotta tiptoe around women, don't say certain things to women, don't use certain words, don't use certain language.
Mhm.
And see, on media, all that crap has went out the window. Okay, that's all out the window. I mean, especially depending on, what platform you're on, you better get your ears ready, lady, to hear some really brash and brutal stuff, because that's what's coming down the pipe. I mean, they get it here. I mean, because I've never been a person to tiptoe around women and not say certain words, and
Mhm.
because I got a lot of women around me. I got a wife, I got 2 grown daughters. Okay, I got sisters, I got sisters-in-laws. So they pretty much hear the same stuff that you hear here on here. They pretty much hear the same stuff, so they're used to it. Yeah, they're used to it. But for the most part, women aren't really used to brothers saying the things that they say, because see, we've always been taught to try to be mindful of a woman's feelings. We've been taught to be mindful of her feelings. And now dudes don't give a damn about women's feelings. They're not gonna change the verbiage, or, use words that may be a little more softer to the ear just to talk to things about these women. Most brothers aren't doing that anymore. Not on media. They're not. I mean, and I think the fact that we were taught that, I think not only were we done a disservice by being taught that, I think we did the women a disservice too. Why? Because they have been taught that they need to be coddled like some porcelain statue. Handle it with care, handle it gingerly. It might break, you might scratch it. So I think on both sides of that, we were done a disservice, because we were taught to give women this blanket respect, which a lot of them did not earn. And also with the women, I think they were taught to be, to think of themselves as, they shouldn't hear certain things, certain words shouldn't be used around us, certain meanings of words shouldn't be put out there in front of us, because see, we're ladies, and we shouldn't be hearing this kind of stuff. That's where I think the problem started at, as far as how men and women deal with each other and shit. I think that whole the woman is to be held in this high regard crap. I think that just kind of messed us up, because that crap only is like that within Black society, man. We are the only society that freaking tries to put our women up on these damn pedestals. And you know why? Because most of us, that's who we're raised by. Most of us, that's the head of our family. Most of us, that's where we got all our guidance, our instruction from, our personalities from. So that's why I believe that we have a tendency to we want to preserve the woman, preserve the Black woman, because most of us, that's all we had. Most of us, that's all we had. That's where we learned everything from, our old mama. And that being the case, yeah, that
I've been waiting for that one.
Yeah, because you know how I am about these old mamas. All right, everybody knows there's no secret, And I say this stuff because of this, Black girl. This is why I say the things I say. Now, mind you, if you're an adult, you get out there, you can do whatever you want to do. I mean, do whatever your heart's desire. You're an adult. You're allowed to do it. But once you bring children into the fold, that's when I have a problem. When you're out there and you're slinging your pussy around and you're dragging men in and out the house, and these men are abusing the children, or the children are being neglected because you're off in the trap house and they home by themselves. I mean, I've seen countless stories, man, of women leaving kids by themselves in the house burned down, leaving kids in the car by themselves, the kids die in the car, all that kind of stuff. That's what pisses me off about these old mamas, because you would think that now that you have a child, you are going to change your life. You're going to change your perspectives. Okay, you're going to change your perspectives and change how you operate. You're not going to still be doing the same dumb stuff that you were doing before you had the kid. But then again, when you think about it, a lot of these chicks, guess what? Before they had a kid, the last thing on their mind was having a kid. That was the last thing on their mind. So of course they neglect the children, beat the kids' brains out, leave the kids home by themselves, allow the kids to be raped and molested by the dudes they dragging in out the house. So I mean, I'm never gonna get to a point where I think that these old mamas could not avoid this stuff. Now, I've had people tell me, oh, X, well, you got to understand, and they go all the way back to slavery and white supremacy and all this kind of stuff. That's how they do. Everything is slavery and the white power structure. Everything. If you break your finger, it's because of the white man. If you stomp your toe, it's because of the white man. So they go right back into that. Well, the reason why these women do this is because of, no. The reason why they do it is because they're fucking irresponsible and they don't care about the kids the way they're supposed to. I was just talking about it earlier. Everybody always wants you to listen to the backstory, as if you listen to the backstory, that somehow is going to justify the fucked up act that took place at the end of it. You see these kids, man. Do you know that like 60% of Black girls get molested by the time they was 18? 60%, man. Okay?
Yeah.
And usually it's by somebody that the child knows. Okay? AKA somebody that the mama has given access to this child. Because 73% of the time, you know who it is? Stepdaddy, boyfriend, some dude mama dating. Because the kids who are more likely to get molested, right? The ones who don't have the protection of a father.
Right.
So what that says to me is that this woman allowed this shit. She allowed it. Why? Because she put that child in a position where this child could be molested. Not only did she put the child in a predicament, her ass didn't have enough vetting skills to pick a decent dude to even have around the child in the first place. Or she didn't have the common sense to not see the red flags at the place where she's leaving the children. You know, I could go on all night about these old mamas. All right.
Yeah, there are lots of you know, there a lot is made of Chicago, you know, Chirac. I'm sure you've heard that term.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there's always a lot of talk about how many murders there are in Chicago and that type of thing. Although, interestingly, ironically, murder rate in Chicago is probably twice, you know, 30 years ago than what it is now. But you know, no one ever talks about that. But you know, one of the things that I recall growing up in Chicago, you know, like I say, you know, 60s on into the early 80s, was, and it obviously started to change for the worse over that period. But certainly when at the earlier part of my childhood and you know adolescence, the vast majority of the people, the elder or older people I knew were married. You know, very few people, you know, just thinking back, very few people I knew, there were very few people I knew that were not married, and, you know, father, mother in the house with children in Chicago, in the inner city. I mean, the other observation, and we often talk about like, you know, there not being enough black owned businesses and stuff like that. But again, the early part of my childhood, you know, the local dry cleaners was black owned. The local laundromat, black owned. All the grocery stores, black owned. Black owned auto repair, black owned TV repair, black owned plumbers. You know, thinking back as a kid, I rarely saw a non-white, or excuse me, a non-black service person performing anything in, you know, the apartment I lived in, or and you know, at the homes of friends of mine, relatives of mine. You know, most of you know, again, the early part it began to change, unfortunately, as I got older. Uh, the early part of my childhood was very pro-black, much more pro-black than anything, you know, folks in the manosphere or certain elements of the manosphere might want to try to celebrate or conjure, you know. But there were specific policies, uh, you know, a lot of divorces, welfare policy, you know, judicial, court, child support, you know, all this stuff. We don't have to belabor that. But there were specific things that happened that undermined the black community, you know. And, you know, I mean, we talk about it, but I think part of the problem, because a lot of the stronger voices in this arena, I know BGS Ibmore talks a great deal about it quite eloquently. But I don't think we talk enough about what really happened. And here's my other issue. This is the other issue I always have with younger people in the manosphere. And I'm sure you can relate to this. Perhaps not as much as because I think I'm a little older than you. But here's the thing, X. We couldn't just turn on a damn computer and punch in a few words and see all the knowledge of the universe in 5 seconds. If I want to learn something of any real value in this world, I have to get my ass up, dress or whatever, go to one of the very few decent libraries in the Chicagoland area. Probably take me an hour to get there. And in some cases, I might have to go through some racist white neighborhood, would also be another issue. You know, spend the time there until maybe it's late at night looking for some books that's probably 10 or 15 years old. So I didn't, not only was getting information time consuming, but even the quality of the information was often very, I mean, if you're a black kid coming up, you don't have access to the University of Chicago library, for example, or Northwestern University library. So there's even just a quality of information you could get once you get there. And the problem I have with much of the critique of us boomers and Gen Xers, I guess, or certainly older Gen Xers, is the younger folks grossly underestimate the leverage they have with respect to being able to get information, real good, solid information, and then to be able to act on it. A lot of things that we perhaps did not do correctly 30 plus whatever years ago were a product of very often we did not know what was going on. And there was a lot of institutions in place that definitely prevented us from not knowing what's going on. And those strictures no longer exist now. So comparing what a 50-some-year-old man should have done 30 years ago to what his equivalent should do now, man, they were almost from different planets. You know, I cannot overemphasize how disproportionately powerful the internet makes a 25-year-old person of today versus his grandfather or father 30 or 40 years prior. So a lot of this anger and hostility towards the older folks, you know, they lack perspective as to the limitations that existed in the world in which we lived during Reaganomics and oil shortages and, you know, all the busing and all that type of stuff. You know, they just lack the perspective of that. And, you know, I don't know how you can necessarily give it to them. I mean, I guess it's a good thing they didn't have to go through many of those things. But I do think having a perspective from all angles of a situation might help you. Look, even if you don't empathize with us old folks, even if you just don't give a damn about us old folks, at least know the whole story of what was happening, so you can make some sound decisions going forward. And just, you know, cherry picking whatever bit of information that favors your particular perspective on things would not. It may help you to momentarily win some debate, but it won't necessarily help you to compete in this world right now.
Yeah, well, one thing I've found, one thing I've discovered is that many young folks think that the way the world is now, it's always been this way. Um, a lot of them think it's always been this way, and anything that's over 30 is old. So when you have people who think that way, they kind of miss a step, because see, what they don't understand is that if we were their age now, we'd probably be way more efficient than they are now, because of how we were raised. And what, like you said, I mean, when you wanted information, you had to go to the library, unless, you know, you had world book encyclopedias in your house, like I did when I was a kid. I was fortunate, you know, we always had, you know, almanacs and world book encyclopedias and all that kind of crap in the crib. But when I couldn't find what I wanted in there, I had to go to the library, and the library was like miles away from our house. So I mean, that's what you had to do. I couldn't jump on the computer and, you know, go on Google and, you know, start to type in, and Google fills in the rest, and I just hit enter. You know, there was none of that back then. So you really had to make your bones back then. And what I think has happened is a lot of these younger people, man, they've got kind of complicit. You know, they've gotten very complicit because of internet and media and shit like that. Like I said before, you know, you don't have to shake anybody's hand. You don't have to look nobody in the eye. You don't have to, you know, set up a meeting. You don't have to do any of that. All you got to do is turn this on, and there it is. You know, everybody can freaking hide, you know, behind their avatar, hide, you know, behind their voice, hide, you know, behind some picture. I mean, you got people out there now, man, they're putting pictures up of other people. They're not even putting pictures up of themselves. They're putting pictures up of other people. So I mean, this is what we have now, man. And I don't see it getting any better. We often talk about, you know, shit getting better, you know, here on YouTube. But see, I'm a true believer, and I know people are not going to like that I said this, but I'm a true believer that no revolution is going to take place via YouTube, man. I mean, it's not. I mean, YouTube is just a place, man, for us to exchange ideas. That's it. That's it. Nothing else is going to happen on YouTube. Okay, I mean, we can sit back and talk about, how we're going to change black society and how we're going to do this and how we're going to do that. But guess what? After that live is over, everybody close their damn laptop and go on back to their damn lives and get right back into doing whatever shit they were doing before that live started. I mean, it's not like people are, going on YouTube, having this conversation. Now everybody's outside, trying to start the revolution. Come on, man. Come on, it's not true. It's not. And a lot of the shit that you hear on YouTube would lead you to believe that this shit is really happening. That some change is taking place because of YouTube. Man, no change is taking place. The only thing that may possibly be getting changed is a few minds. That's it. Because from what I see, I read the newspapers. I watch news all the time. I see the same old shit that I saw before all these hangouts, before YouTube. So I haven't seen any change. I mean, because I know people who are on the ground. I know people who feed the homeless. I know people who hire brothers for jobs. I know I'm one of them. Okay. I know people who are teaching the children. That stuff is groundwork, man. Getting up on this damn YouTube and on a microphone and on the camera talking about, well, this is what we need to do for the community. Shut the hell up, man. Shut up. You ain't doing shit for the community. Because if you were, instead of me seeing your ass, I would see a video up here of someone taping you doing that shit that you telling all the rest of us to do. Someone would have a video of you doing it, as opposed to you sitting back at your damn house on YouTube trying to tell us what we need to all go out and do, man. That kind of shit, man, just rubs me the wrong way, because it's like you always have these people talking this revolution shit. You always have these people talking this movement shit. You have these people talking all this stuff, but guess what? Tomorrow they'll be talking the same shit, because see, they was talking the same shit yesterday and last week, last month, last year, just like they'll be talking it next week, next month, next year. And guess what? You won't see a damn difference. Okay. I always thought that YouTube is just a place for us to exchange ideas. This whole YouTube revolution shit, man, it don't even exist. It may exist in people's minds, but I haven't seen anything change out in the world via YouTube. I just haven't. I mean, maybe I just live in the wrong place. I don't know. Haven't
Well,
seen it.
I do think, I do think, and again, I don't know if it's just YouTube per se. I mean, I think social media does influence some behavior, whether it's positive or negative. I mean, I think it's subject to debate. And again, I think time will tell. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you from the standpoint of, yeah, there won't be any, overturning America revolutions, done by way of YouTube. That's just not going to happen. And sometimes I wish we would be, some of us would be a little more honest, or take a more earnest approach to where we are. Because, for example, black men, I when I always think about what we can or cannot do, I always somewhat, I have to recognize the fact that black men are about what, 4 or 5% of the American electorate,
Yep.
5% at most.
Yep.
So, I mean, even if we were all on the same page, totally 100%, that's 5% of the electorate. We have, black people have collectively, depending on which report you read, collectively have less than 3% of the nation's wealth. So you're talking about Oprah, you're talking about Michael Jordan, you roll all them folks in the, what's his name, Robert Smith or whatever, roll them all in the pot. That's about 3% of the American wealth. So, when I hear all this getting up, this morning and whatever type talk, I'm like, man, you guys don't really have any true sense of the enormity of the beast that you pretend you want to take on. So I just wish we would be a little more clear and honest about what we're going to do. Now, I do think that there are some things that we could, black men in particular, I think we should rally around gaining some sort of independence from the reproductive decisions of women. I think black men should be able to opt out of unwanted pregnancies, frankly. I think doing that would achieve two very positive things, well, several positive things. But one, I mean, it would unburden us economically, because it and it's not just a financial drain, but it is a financial drain in which we have no decision over, no control over. When I buy a house or I buy a car or whatever, yeah, okay, it's burdensome and it's expensive, but at least I decided to bear that burden. But this whole forced into an 18 plus year obligation with very often a stranger is just incredibly debilitating to great numbers of us, and it derails the productivity and the creative capacity of so many of us, often very early in life, to the point in which you can't even really get started real strong because you're 17 to 18 years old and you're in some damn child support court. So I think that would be the benefit. But I also think it would be of great benefit to women, because I think it would impose upon them much more sound judgment with respect to their reproductive decision making. I think it would compel them to realize that, if I get pregnant by this guy, it's all going to be on me. So maybe I should try to use, one or several of these 15 different reproduction, prevention options that are available to females in this country. So I mean, if I were to champion some cause in this space, I would definitely, one of the first things I would do is say we should be a voice for trying to compel some sort of court decision, some Supreme Court decision or whatever, to liberate. Well, I guess it wouldn't just be black men, it would have to be all American men, but to have some means, and maybe not in all situations, but have some avenue to liberate themselves from the reproductive decisions of women. I think that's something we black men in particular could have a very strong and persuasive voice in that area.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I think that men should have more, they should have more command of, reproductive rights and things of that nature. If now people will tell you, oh, you should just mind your dick. Now we need to do that too. Now I don't want to leave that out, but that's going to be the cry out. That's going to be the battle cry. Just mind your dick.
But did they mind their pussy?
Exactly.
So because I mean, let's play out the logic of minding our genitals. Okay, so because I didn't mind my dick, I deserve to be essentially financially enslaved to some other person in the system for the next 18 years. However, you didn't mind your pussy, but okay, you can take the morning after or plan B or whatever. You can abort. You can put the kid up for adoption.
You can
give it to your auntie. Leave it at the fire station.
Yeah, leave it at the firehouse.
So I didn't mind my genitals, and I have to pay for it. Without having any say so in the process. You didn't mind your genitals, but you have all kinds of options there. So I don't think that's a valid rebuttal at all.
Hell no.
Not at all. And I'd welcome that argument.
Yeah. Because you can't force a woman to be a mother, but she can force you to be a father.
She damn sure can, can't
You
she?
can't force her to be a mother because she can go get that baby aborted, like you said. Take that morning after pill. She can have that baby and leave that baby at the firehouse and never have to care about it again. You cannot force her to be a mother, but she damn sure can force your ass to be a father. Yeah, she can force it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we would. I honestly, I really wish we could become a voice in the area, because I think that, and here's the thing, that issue crosses all social,
Yes.
all social economic, all, brothers from New Orleans to brothers from California to New York. We're all impacted by the power, the reproductive power all the females in this country have over us, just by an incident that may have only taken 15 damn seconds.
Yep.
I mean, you make a bad decision. I mean, just imagine that. You make a bad decision that might have taken all of 15 seconds, and she got you for 18 plus years.
Yeah.
It's not right, especially given all the talk about women being sexually liberated and free and reproductive rights and blah blah blah, and all of, free, uh you know female reproduction stuff. I just think, if this arena just were a champion, a true and authentic champion of that effort, I think it would be a worthwhile. I think it would prove the worth of this arena. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's no secret that, as far as black folks go, we got some work to do and all of that. And I think that many of us on YouTube and everywhere else on media, we understand that. But what I think we don't understand, like you said, the enormity of what we're taking on. Excuse me. And I think a lot of us, man, the reason why we don't get into the enormity of the task is because we want to try to convince people, man, that I guess we have the answers, okay? Even if we don't. A lot of us just want to be the people with the answers, man, even if we don't really have them. We don't really have the answers, but we want everybody to think that we do. Even if the answers are unrealistic, even if the answers don't make any sense, even if I think a lot of us, we're there, man. We're so caught in the whole idea, of being able to drop nuggets on everyone. We're so caught up in the idea of, well, I'm this important person on media, so, I'm going to tell you what you need to do and give you a greater understanding of what we face. But at the same time, I think a lot of these people don't even have the greater understanding of what black people face per se. I don't think they have the great understanding of it. Because if they did, a lot of the shit they say, they wouldn't say. They wouldn't say it, man. Because some of the stuff you hear, man, I'm gonna tell you, it's just totally unrealistic. Some of the stuff that I hear people talk about, man, is like there's no way in the hell it's gonna happen. It's just not. Okay, it's not. But they still pump it, pump it, pump it. Okay, because they have an audience. One thing we all have is an audience. So they have an audience who they can tell this stuff to, and some people just lap it up, eat it up, even though many of them know that there's no way this is even remotely realistic. But a lot of us are in lockstep with it because a lot of us are looking for people to follow. Not only are we looking for people to follow, we're looking for an ideal to follow. Okay, we're looking for an ideal to follow. We're looking for a quote unquote movement to follow, even if the movement is imaginary. Because a lot of these things that I hear talked about up here are totally freaking imaginary, man. Straight fantasy crap. That's never going to happen and never going to benefit anyone. Because, see, I find it hard to believe that we can benefit each other if we've never even met. We've never met. So how are we going to benefit each other? And I've met a few YouTubers. I've met about 2 or 3 of them. I've actually met up with YouTubers. And guess what? When you meet up with somebody that you've only interacted through YouTube with, man, it's a totally different experience. Okay. I suggest more people do it. I suggest people start, getting up and hanging out with, some of your favorite YouTubers or people or someone who you're their favorite YouTuber. I suggest that people do that, man. I'm telling you, because I've met a few of the brothers. And let me tell you something, man, being around them is a total different experience than talking to them through this, because see, there's nothing to hide behind. And guess what? Bullshit's going to get called out like that, because see, I'm right in front of you now. I can look into your eye. I can watch your body language. I can listen to the cadence of your voice. I can, it's just more personable, man. When you talk about socializing, I mean, I'll say this again. Social media is not socializing. It has become a bastardized substitute for socializing. And what it has done, it has given people power to actually convince others of shit, even if the shit ain't real.
Well, whenever I hear a lot of this sort of revolutionary type talk, I always wonder, and if you, like myself, you're a father of adult children, I often wonder, the first thought that comes to my mind is, okay, which of your children are you going to sacrifice for this effort? Because you do know, if there is a revolution of some sort, some of your own are going to pay the consequences of it, as well as possibly you. But it could be your own loved ones. So, just considering a lot of this stuff, and, we've of the age where we've seen a number of these revolutionary type of things, and not even just in this type of venue, but even in our respective real lives and whatever. And whenever I'm in these kind of talks and whatever, and I've been in these kind of talks with brothers, face to face and all this type of stuff, and I always ask them, okay, so which of your kids are you going to pledge to this? So that if you don't follow through, then your child is a sacrifice here, because there's no way, there's no way you're going to make any kind of real change happen unless some blood is shed. In this country, in America, you ain't changing nothing unless you're willing to risk it all. And you definitely can't do it by way of YouTube.
Yeah.
There's just too much invested in the status quo for you to make a material effect on that without somebody getting bloody somewhere.
Absolutely. And not only are they not willing to sacrifice their children, many of them aren't willing to sacrifice themselves.
Right.
They're not willing to sacrifice themselves for, the sacrifices that they want to tell everybody else to make, the sacrifices of, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that for Black society, blah, blah, blah. A lot of the crap, man, that you hear these people talk about, man, they have no intention in partaking in it. None whatsoever. They'll give you a 2-3 hour freaking soliloquy about, what we should be doing. But guess what? They have not done it. They're not doing it now and have no intention on doing it. But they're study telling you to do it. I mean, to me, that is just beyond absurd.
Yeah.
Okay. It's beyond absurd, man.
It's reckless, actually.
Yes, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to tell anyone to go out there and do something that I have not done, that I'm not doing now, or have any intention on doing. Usually when I tell people, look, man, do this, this, and that, I'm telling you that because I've done it, or I'm doing it right now. Okay, I'm not gonna sit back, at my house, on YouTube and tell you to go out and do all this crazy stuff out in Black society while I sit back here relaxing in my house watching you do it. I mean, to me, that's just ridiculous. And what I think often happens, brother Black Uru, is that we give people this false impression that we're doing all this shit out in Black society, and really we're not. And a lot of these people who you hear talk about this shit, man, your ass ain't doing nothing in Black society. You're on YouTube too much. You're on YouTube 8 hours at a clip twice a day. So how the hell you out in the streets helping Black folks when I see your ass on YouTube while I'm working? Yeah, while I'm working, you're on YouTube. So because I actually listen to some of this crap. I play it, in my shop. And I'm like, damn, this person's on again? Weren't they just on like 2 hours ago? They're on YouTube while you're working. So how much shit could they possibly be doing out in Black society if you're on YouTube 7 days a week, 7 hours out of the day? I mean, when are you finding time to do all this Black society revolutionary shit? When are you finding the time? Shit, do you ever sleep? I mean, come on, man. It's just absurd, man. A lot of it is just really absurd. A lot of it makes no sense, and a lot of it is nothing but freaking bravado and mostly fantasy, man. A lot of this shit is fantasy. It's not even real. It's not.
Well, I think some people think that just being here and talking, rabble rousing, I guess, is some form of contribution. Obviously, it's not.
Oh yeah, that's part of it. I guess that's what they mean when they say they're doing stuff in Black society.
Well, you get the emotional charge of it.
Yeah.
You may get that. Oh, I've really kind of stuck this point here, and someone's going to hear this, and it's going to somehow reach the ears of all of America, and it's just going to change lives. Maybe.
The things I say on YouTube are gonna clean up Detroit. They're gonna clean up Chicago.
Yeah.
It's gonna clean up all of that. Yeah. Stupid.
No,
That's stupid.
A lot of things happen in Detroit and Chicago, and sure ain't a lot that's gonna be done on YouTube. Could address those issues, and I'm not even sure much can actually be done. Period. But I certainly don't see this being the place to do it. No. I look, there are things, again, that I said and I mentioned earlier that with the Black man or man reproductive rights things, there are some things that I do think can be achieved here, or at least started here or initiated here, and there are some. I like some. I often frequent the Black Brain Trust, headed up by what Mike B and Ulysses Complex Design. Those guys, I think they do really good work. Yeah, with him as well. Yeah, I think they do good work there. I think they're starting to kind of build more of an audience there, or subscriptionship there. And again, the optimist in me, I try to see things, how things moving over time. Where were they 3 months ago or 6 months ago, and where are they now? Seems like a positive trend. I think there is a sort of a mantra that I think is growing steam in the Black manosphere. I think I've heard, I think it was like C Boogie or Kevin Smith. Maybe I shouldn't use names. I don't know. But the phrase "show your work," I do think that will become a stronger model, or or meme or whatever in this environment. And I think some people, certainly not all, I think some people will be motivated to show their work, if for no other reason but egotistical reason.
Yeah.
If for no other reason but to prove that other nigga wrong. So
bragging rights.
Yeah.
Bragging rights.
So I do think there will be, assuming, YouTube doesn't just, kick us all off or, drastically change or whatever, which maybe it will, I don't know. But I think there will be a growing call to show your work. And I think that will change who it will change the dynamics of who really has the influence in the arena. Because if enough of this type of guy is really showing a type of work and this one is not, it's going to become difficult psychologically for the one who is showing to not have more influence. It's just going to be, either that is just going to expose all of us or just some bullshitters, which could happen too, I guess.
Yeah. To those of us who it hasn't happened to already.
Right.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen with this whole YouTube thing? I mean, everybody and their mama is live tonight. I mean, I was looking along my feed. Every damn thing on had live underneath it. I'm like, God damn!
It's the shootout at the OK Corral.
Yeah, man. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So what do you think's going to happen with this whole? I know what I think, but what do you think? Is going to happen with this whole?
Well, again,
YouTube?
I don't know exactly what YouTube is doing, so I haven't really invested enough of my own time and energy into what that's going to be. I think we are so, quote, powerless, if you will, over what YouTube and Google mission is, that it's almost kind of like pointless to focus too much on that and just kind of see what happened. I mean, obviously, if you made some plans to transition into some other form of media, and I think from what I understand, some of the major voices in the Black manosphere have attempted to, or maybe have already prepared to do so. So just as more of an observer and not really a content creator, I just I'm actually kind of excited about the change because I do think it gives more of a chance or opportunity for creativity, and maybe it will change the mix of the voices in the arena, and hopefully in a positive way. So, the whole phrase, the cliche, change is good. I tend to agree with that. And so I'm just kind of looking forward to see what comes of it, and I think it will be positive. I think many of us, maybe the more talented and diligent and productive in this arena, will make the best of it and will make something better than what we have now. But again, that's just the optimistic.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you anticipate will happen?
I think it's going to change, but I think it's not going to change that much. There's still going to be a bunch of panels of fools up here arguing and going on. I mean, I don't think it's going to change that much. I mean, it's going to change somewhat, of course. And when it comes down to us, I mean, because we're on the consumer level of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke about this earlier at the top of the stream, that they've got people on YouTube, man, who have big production studios and do all these shows and have 10 different camera angles and all that kind of stuff. I think those people are going to be the ones who are affected, at first, because what's going on with those people? Those people draw in a lot of revenue, not just for themselves, but also for YouTube. So I think that they are going to be the first ones to transition to whatever this new format is. And I think that they are prepared for it. They've been getting prepared for it. Us, we're the consumers, man. We're pretty low level. I don't give a damn how many subscribers you got. If you ain't got at least 1 million, you ain't doing nothing. Because a lot of those white platforms, man, they got 5 million, 10 million, 15, 20 million subscribers. You got 50,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. That's a good number, but it's not good YouTube numbers when they have people with 5 million subscribers. So I think those people are going to be the first to transition, to see the difference. I think we're not going to see that much of a difference, man, because like I said, we are the consumer classes of freaking YouTube. We're the people that get on here and, you know, we do streams from our house. You know, you got people who do YouTube streams, man, with a whole studio setup, like I said, with 10 different camera angles and boom mics and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to change that much for us right now. Now, they say that Hangouts is ending tomorrow, right? Today is the night before Christmas, right? So I guess that's why everybody's doing their lives tonight, because they think tomorrow they're going to wake up and they're not going to be able to do it.
Well, when is the shut-off switch? Because, I mean, is it like midnight?
I don't know.
Eastern time or what?
I know. That's another thing. I don't know.
Because some of these folks are on the clock, man.
Yeah, man. They're on the clock right now. You know, they're on the clock right now. Yeah. See, me, I don't think I'm going to wake up tomorrow because I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow. And I'm not even concerned. I mean, whatever I got to do to rock it out, I'll rock it out. I mean, you know, whatever it is, I'll just do it. You know, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference, man. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference, man.
You know, from what my understanding is that, you know, part of the reason, I think this is something I've heard more than read, so this is purely speculation, but from what I believe I heard, they're changing because the live streams is essentially pilfering attention or eyeballs away from the advertising videos. So thus the motivation to maybe either shut down or limit the streams, so that the presumption or the hope would be there would be more eyeballs put on the advertised sourced content. The Black Manosphere in particular, I don't necessarily see, you know, suddenly guys in the Black Manosphere watching, you know, cat videos. You know? So I don't, you know, I don't know, you know, we'll go somewhere else before we start watching that kind of stuff or whatever. So now, of course, since we're so low level in terms of the numbers and the value of our attention, you know, they may not care. We just may be just a wholesale casualty of the change. I can see that potentially occur where, you know, I don't care anything about us or what happened to us as a consequence of the decision they make. So it could be calamitous, you know, to us here in this venue, or it could be a decision is made where there is lower impact on their overall economic structure. You know, maybe there isn't much done to those of us that don't affect their bottom line. I don't know. You know, maybe as I think you were describing, there'd be more of an impact on those where it's clear is their true source of revenue. You know, and maybe they're trying to better leverage those clients, as I don't know how they refer to the people who have they're content creators. Maybe there'll be more focus on trying to get more revenue from the higher revenue generating sources. You know, which would be, I guess, an optimal kind of arrangement for us. I mean, you know, if they mostly left the Black Manosphere alone, then, you know, no big deal to us. But again, I don't know what the actual plan is. I haven't really read that, so I can't really comment much about that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, tomorrow's going to be just like today. I mean, everybody's going to be doing a live stream because they're going to be trying to, you know, see if they can still do it or
Right.
figure it out. So tomorrow's gonna be just like I knew it was gonna be like that when I started this show. Because as soon as I went into my damn page, every damn one on how they come down the right hand side of your every damn one had live on it. I'm like,
I
God
looked on
damn.
it too. I was like, oh, and then it was like, oh yeah.
Everybody's live today. Everybody.
Well, I should really consider an honor that you would choose for me to be on potentially your last stream, whatever the hell it may be. I appreciate your inviting me. To be here while the house burns down.
Yeah, the YouTube apocalypse. That's what I was calling it. The YouTube apocalypse.
We could just watch it all burn.
Yeah, man. Sort of like the coming of 2012. Remember
exactly.
They thought, oh man, 2012,
November 17th, 2012.
Oh, the world's gonna end. Because that's what you've been hearing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I've been hearing for like the past 3 weeks, man. I've had people email me and be, oh, hey, man, what are you gonna do, man, when the hangouts go? I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to continue to live my life. What the hell am I supposed to do? Even if they shut it down, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm going to continue to wake up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, get my ass up, wash my face, brush my teeth, maybe grab a cup of coffee and head my ass out to work to go, do what I got to do. That's what I'm going to do if they shut down hangouts. I mean, I had like maybe 4 people write me, and they were like, "Oh, X, man, what are you gonna do when they get done with hangouts?" I'm gonna do what I always do: live my life. What the hell am I supposed? What am I supposed to go kill myself now? Because hangouts is done. Like, come on, man, give me a break. Give me a break, man. I think
like I say, black men were some of the most creative people on the planet, maybe the most creative people on the planet. So, if it's something we want to do, we'll figure out a different way to do it. If we want to continue to do this kind of thing or something similar to it, we'll figure out a way to do it. So again, that's why I was saying earlier. In a way, I'm almost kind of looking forward to it because I'm almost to something dramatic happening because I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how we respond to it.
Yep. How are we going to respond? I mean, are we going to adapt and maybe come up with something else? Because there's many different programs that you can use to kind of stream with YouTube. Anyway, I have a couple of them. I just don't use them. I mean, it's not like this live stream hangout thing is the only thing. And even if it was, I mean, people treat it like this is some damn lifeline. Like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do lives anymore. Even if that was the case, so damn what? Like, even if I can't do lives anymore, I'll just do pre-recorded shit.
Yeah, and you can do the same thing you did before, interviews, whatever.
Yeah,
you just pre-record them.
I'll just do it pre-recorded. No big deal, man. I mean, this isn't a lifeline for me, man. Some of these people, man, this is a serious lifeline for them, and I feel for them. I really do. I really feel sorry for you. If you can't go one day without being on freaking YouTube, I kind of feel sorry for you because you're addicted to something that probably does. You love something that probably doesn't love you back. It's one thing to love something that doesn't love you back. Because one thing about YouTube, it loves no one. Okay, YouTube loves no one. So to get yourself all tied up into this YouTube crap, man, and thinking that what goes on YouTube and what people say on YouTube is actually applicable to your everyday life, which it is not. I mean, you might can pick some things here and there, but man, your everyday life, man, you're gonna have to live it no matter what, whether you on YouTube or not. Whether you listen to some of us clowns on YouTube or not, okay? If you follow the advice of us or not.
It does symbolize the fracturing of the social, the prior social construct where, you married, you had family, children, the kids went outside and played bald,
Mhm.
sounding like an old man. But I mean, that's how America, I guess, worked for most of its history, where you had actual physical relationships with people,
Yeah.
usually centered around the traditional marriage or whatever. And then you had extended families that kind of leaked up those relationships, grandma, uncles, that type of thing. And I think YouTube kind of symbolizes how that has broken down, where people we are still naturally social beings, but yet those relationships, those institutions, those that family just is no longer there for so many of us now that YouTube does become a kind of surrogate family for many people. And so while um, I might have my critique of, the amount of time and voice, and activity many people have in this arena, I do have, like you, I do have adult daughters, and I see how disconnected they are, from their generation is from each other, you know, different from how we were as young people. And so I kind of empathize with them because I see evidence of much of that kind of stuff happening even amongst my own younger kin, whatever, where there's just this difference and so much attention to this media, the
Yeah.
social media, the fantasies of relationships with celebrities and
Yeah.
and the watching the wedding of the Meghan Markle or whatever,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just
what puzzles me is that, I find that a lot of people, and because I have four children, but they're not children anymore, they're freaking
mm,
adults. But
yeah,
because my youngest is 21. I mean, I got kids
wow,
from ages 33 all the way down to 21. I got
wow,
two adult sons and I got two adult daughters. And a lot of times I catch them living their damn life like it's Facebook.
yep,
Like
yep,
I'm like, this isn't Facebook, man. Like, what the hell are you doing? They're living their life like it's Instagram. Like, what
mhm,
is the matter with you, man?
mhm,
This is not Instagram. Okay, this is real life. They're walking around the world looking for likes and shit. Like, come on, man.
mhm,
You gotta be kidding me, man. Sometimes, you look at them, you're like, man, this is a crazy, crazy generation, man. Because see, now media has such an effect. It has such an effect on people now, man, that you can, it's not that often that you can walk down a street, man, and every single person is like this. Every single person,
mhm.
every single person, every
Yeah,
single person is like this. Everybody.
nobody looks at anybody.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope. Everything is
mhm,
everything's at your fingertips. Okay. Nothing's personable anymore. And we're all in our own world. This has given us a world to be in. Okay. This
right.
here, it has given us our own world to be in. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I don't even have a problem with people who are always on their phone and playing games and shit. My thing is like when you see people all the time, always like this. Okay. I get on my daughters about that stuff because they're always like this. And they know damn well we as black folks, we do not like each other that much. Where we always need to be talking
Yeah,
to each other.
yeah,
We don't. We don't like each other that much where we always need to be talking to each other. We are so afraid of being alone with our own thoughts that it ain't
mm.
even funny.
There you
We,
go. There
we
you
don't
go,
want to
right there.
we
Yeah.
don't want to be alone with our own thoughts. So we gotta be on the phone talking to somebody about nothing. I watch my wife, man. I mean, I will go, me and her will be together, and we can go like to her sister's house or something. Her and her sister be in there yapping, for hours and hours, right? and then we get ready to leave, and they're talking a little bit before, around the car, and then we go home. The first thing they do when they get home is call each other.
Call each other.
I'm like, y'all was just around each other for like 5 hours. I mean, 20 minutes after leaving from her, the first thing you got to do is call her again. Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. You were just talking to her for like 5 hours. I mean, what the hell could have taken place in those 20 minutes that it took us to drive home that you had to share with her? I mean, it's so crazy that we don't just not want to be alone with our own thoughts. We do not want to be alone with other people and our own thoughts. Why do you think you can be around people and you're having a conversation with them and the first thing they do is, hold on, man? They pull out their goddamn phone while you're trying to have a conversation with them. I mean, my daughters and shit do that shit to me sometimes. And I scream on them. Man, put that goddamn phone down while I'm standing here. I mean, come on, man. We don't even want to be alone with our own thoughts and other people. So we definitely don't want to be alone with our own thoughts. It's almost like if we're alone with our own thoughts too long, our heads will explode or something. It's crazy, man. I never thought society would get like this. I never thought we would be at a point where everything is so impersonable. Reality goes out the door. Fantasy is embraced as reality. Up is now down is now up, left is now right, and right is now left. It's like we're living in a world of backwardness, man. It's crazy. It is crazy.
Well, I mean, sounding like an old guy, I do think that you can trace much of this to just the kind of just overall diminishment of I, I don't want to say the traditional family or whatever. Sounds like a very white thing, but just the whole overall, there when we were younger, there were lots of institutions of some sort that clubs, the Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you know, lodges, and some people were, maybe Masons, or, just a lot of different things that kind of compelled a degree of human interaction and camaraderie. Obviously, the church, forgot to mention that. So a lot of things we did, a lot of relationship forming we did as a consequence of sort of pre-prepared programming of some sort that very often we were compelled to engage in. We may have begun engaging in these things when we weren't even allowed to make the decision as to whether or not we can participate in these things. And I think what we're learning is that our we're not as mature and evolved as we like to think we are. That a lot of what we did, a lot of the positive things that we might have done historically, and I'm not just saying Black people, I think human beings overall, again, were a product of certain things being put in place that compelled us to do certain things, and in the best of situations, brought the best out of us and required us working together, building together, and believing in each other, and having to be able to depend on each other for our actual physical effort or our actual intellectual contribution. And now, particularly younger people, there's no compulsion to be in the Boys and Girls Club, for example. There's no compulsion to, I had spent some time in the Boy Scouts. It wasn't my decision to be in Boy Scouts; it was my uncle. So Little League baseball, Pony League football, a lot of these things I just got like put into, and but they don't have that. So it's just so the phone, I think, kind of in a way, or the social media overall, kind of symbolizes the breakdown of a lot of those other things, the destruction, the elimination of a lot of those other things that would have compelled us to not have the time to be as focused on that type of stuff.
I totally agree, man. I think that one of the worst things that kind of happened, especially to us, us black folks, is goddamn media. I mean, media has made us worse, man, because not only, because there's always been dysfunction in black society, just in any other society. But what has happened now is that dysfunction has become sensationalized, it's become glamorized, because now you can take the dysfunction and tape it. Yeah, you can tape the dysfunction now and put it right here. You put it right on Facebook, right on Instagram, right on, whatever. So what it has done now is it has made people who may not have been as dysfunctional kind of creating dysfunction just to put on here, just to put on Facebook and Instagram, because you have people doing some of the most wicked crap, taping it, uploading it to Facebook, uploading it to YouTube.
When you talk about crazy, you make me think of something that, I grew up near an asylum, you know, in the Chicago area. And it's interesting. I didn't as a child, I didn't know what that really meant. I mean, it was a crazy house, or that's what they called it. And you would see people occasionally kind of out and about, and they obviously were disturbed. Usually not dangerous, and there would be people out sort of monitoring them. But I mean, you couldn't just keep the people inside all the time. So they would be out, usually in maybe some sort of gated area, but sometimes occasionally walking the street a little bit. And I even knew a couple of friends who, well, one guy, his father would occasionally go there, um, and I think he was like a war hero. So he had been somehow disturbed by his military experience, because he would just have these flashbacks of being in, I guess, Korea, maybe. Um, but it was interesting because when he was sober or whatever, he was a brilliant, kind man. And in fact, he would even work. He was like some sort of genius mechanic or whatever. So he was this very productive man, but he had been disturbed by his military service. So he would like kind of just go there, spend uh hell, I don't know, a month or so in there. I don't know. This is a while back, so I don't know if they were doing electric shock treatment. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but then he would come out and he would be his old self. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is that, a lot of those places went away. And I seem to kind of remember them kind of beginning to go away during Reagan. Reagan started sucking out, that's when things started, getting all into this, conservative, and, we don't want to sponsor certain social programs and that type of thing. So I kind of remember that kind of stuff going away around Reagan. And a lot of those people, when I think about like a lot of what happened uh, during like the crack epidemic, uh, during a lot of what happened after that, a lot of things that's happening now, particularly in social media. I often think like, I wonder if we still had those asylums, would these people be in there?
Yeah, right.
Because I think a percentage of these people, and I'm certainly not just talking about black people. I think a significant percentage of people who are out here in prior generations would have been in those asylums. And I think we see some of them actually here in
Yeah.
YouTube and in particular the Manosphere.
Well, you know, I'm a true believer that a lot of our black asses need therapy any goddamn way.
Mhm.
We need some type of, I think a lot of us are walking around here with a lot of undiagnosed
Mhm.
mental issues,
Mhm.
you know, men and women. You know, I mean, I think a lot of us really need to lay down on a couch and talk to somebody with a PhD.
Mhm.
But you know, that kind of shit is taboo in black society. You know, you're not supposed to see a psychiatrist unless you know you're Looney Tunes already. You know, so I mean, that's where we are, man. I think that within black society, I think many of us have been sold. We've been sold a bill of goods, and we bought the shit, and we don't know what to do with it. It's like when you go somewhere and you buy something out of a store because you just saw it on TV. Then you get the shit home and you don't even know what to do with it. I think a lot of that shit's going on in black society. I think we got a lot of shit around us, man, that we don't know what to do with. So we got a lot of energy and shit around us that we don't know what to do with. So we just kind of coming up with these different ways and scenarios to kind of use it. You know, that's what I think the problem with many of us are. We got a lot of energy and shit like that, whether it be mental, spiritual, emotional, physical,
Mhm.
and we don't know what to do with it. We
Mhm.
don't know what to do with it. So we invent shit. We invent these magical, mystical, freaking things to do with it. And a lot of times the things that we're doing with it ain't even what we're supposed to be doing with it, man. That's what I think.
Mhm.
I think that is a major problem within black society as well. We got a lot of energy and we don't know what to do with it, and we don't know how to focus it. And some of us, we just take the energy and just completely just throw it in the trash and forget about it. So but yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. I see my man,
No,
great.
hey,
I see my
I
man, Great
appreciate
Britain.
the invite, man. Like I said
Absolutely.
earlier, it was an honor to be invited to be here, and I hope you appreciated and enjoyed my presence here. I hope
Oh, absolutely. We got to do
others
this again,
do. Yeah,
man. We
for
got to
sure,
do
for
this
sure. There's
again, man.
a lot of different things us old guys or older guys
Oh yeah,
can
yeah.
talk about.
I'm one of them
You know,
old dudes too that they consider old fella. You know, I done been
right,
called old
right.
fella many
Right.
times.
They
Doesn't
don't call us elders. They call us olders now. So I
Yeah,
guess
the
we're the
oldest.
older
Yeah, I don't
guys.
care,
So
man. My sons tell me that all the time. That's my nickname. You know, when they call me, they be like, "Hey, old man." I mean, so you know, them
yeah,
calling me old. I mean, you got to come up with a
yeah,
better insult than that. I'm used to that shit.
right. But
You
no,
got
I enjoyed this, and again, I look forward to doing it again. And whatever happens, I look forward to seeing, you know, on the other side of the YouTube apocalypse. I look forward to seeing you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I see you on the I see you on the other side, brother. Black
All
Uno.
right, brother. Take care of
All
yourself.
right, man. Peace.
You
Take it
too.
easy.
Take care, Great Britain.
You too, boss.
All right,
Appreciate
brother.
you knowing you, man.
Oh, no problem. Take care now.
All right.
All right. Our
Good.
next guest up on the old has arrived. What's up, brother Great Britain? Man, I've been trying to get you up here for a minute, man.
I've been occupied, but I'm glad and not a moment too soon. I'm on the program, and I appreciated all the invites and all the patience that you had with me trying to get me on this program, man. I truly appreciate you, brother.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, man. Um, let me just get right into it then. God damn it. What brought you to YouTube, brother?
Um, I've been watching YouTube for quite a while. I've been speculating YouTube since pretty much its introduction in 2006. Pretty much I came here just to see videos, music videos. I'm just a hip hop head. I'm from New York. I'm just a hip hop head like everybody else. And my introduction to YouTube started around 2006, just looking at videos I couldn't see no more, old school stuff that I was into and I couldn't see no more, old school Rap City, old school video music box stuff. And after a while, as the years went by, the content kind of grew, and it went from just discovering videos and whatnot to actual real content. My first encounters with pre Black Manosphere days was Sergeant Willie Pete, Dark One Son, Mayor Blacktown was on here back in 06, 07 when it first started. And it just was eye-opening, being able to see brothers' opinions on different topics, different topics of discussion, and be able to catch it even back in those days, very current. My curiosity grew from that to just keep in touch and just keep current on what the brothers was out here putting out and kind of putting into the atmosphere, for people to really catch content on it. And then eventually, it kind of grew to just dudes in my areas, dudes I was getting familiar with, being from areas that I frequent, or areas that I grew up in. I came on to a gentleman called Big B Kell. He had a couple names, but he went by Big B Kell. Big B Kell put me on to a couple of guys. One of them was David Carroll. David Carroll. Once I got into David Carroll, that might have been 2011, 2012. That was it. I was wide open. Once I started hearing David Carroll kind of put his perspective on things, I was like, all right, I'm hip to it. As the years grew, I started seeing other brothers pop up. Rick Scorpio. It was a lot of brothers. A lot of brothers just came popping up, and it became something that I took an interest to. Being able to receive content from brothers almost daily, but it wasn't lives. This was pre-live days, so they would do podcasts or upload videos and then give you their content. But it was pretty current. It was pretty up to date. They would release current content almost every day. Back in those days, and twice a day, 3 times a day, and once I got hip to that, I was like, man, this could be a powerful thing. That there's a space where Black men could say what they want, how they feel, and they had the freedom to just say how they feel it. And I just became a fan of that, man. For real, I just became a fan of that, to have that power to say how you feel and say it the way you wanted to, and have no restrictions. Even back in those kind of primitive days of YouTube kind of getting its start, you could just say it how you felt. From there, I watched it grow and grow, and around 2014, 2015, I think I caught on to, I want to say it was Angry Man first, man. It had to be Angry Man first. And then from Angry Man, I was watching him do pretty much movie reviews. That's how I got into Angry Man. Angry Man was doing movie reviews, but he also was releasing back then red pill content. So he would do movie reviews and then mix in the medicine, if you will, with the red pill content. From then, I started getting into what Manosphere was putting out, and it just snowballed from there. From Angry Man, it was O'Shea, and from O'Shea, it was just on. I just got in tune to it.
So, what do you think about what's been going on in on this? Well, let's go ahead and confine it to YouTube. What do you think about what's going on in YouTube now? The climate of it, if you will. What do you think it is, man? And what do you think all this shit is about?
Well, YouTube is turning into now. It's It's been taken over. It's becoming a bureaucracy, pretty much to my understanding. And what it's trying to do is clean up its image, if you will. And I understand that. I understand that this is a business at the end of the day, and it's all about trying to generate revenue and capital. And I understand that everything's gonna come back to that. Everything's gonna boil back to that, capital and revenue, right? So at the end of the day, even you putting out content on here is going to become capital and revenue, and that's what it's become. It's trying to stretch its dollar as best it could, and at the same time, trying to clean up its image so it could keep it could keep that fresh and not embarrassing or appalling disposition about it. And that's why it's trying to clean up all of these channels, and it's just taking people's rights away to really speak the way they want to speak, to say it the way they want to say it. And it's a far cry from what it used to be, to see it from its inception and its birth to where it's at now, where the smallest thing could get you flagged, could get a man's channel flagged. But somebody could lie on you and flag your channel. They just came in and sweep people's channels just away from them. Not only Black Manosphere, but people outside of Black Manosphere getting their channels swiped. So it's just forcing a lot of content creators to find other avenues to create the type of content that they want to on their terms. Be it blog talk radio, be it Zoom, be it Vimeo,
Black Spot, Black Avenger.
Right. They trying to find other avenues to create their content, and I don't blame them. If you can't generate what you do best on this streaming system, then you got to find another one. It's just that simple. It don't make no sense to conform to it and create subpar content or subpar quality for the sake of just remaining on YouTube. Like it don't make no sense to do that.
I agree. I was talking to brother Black Uru a little while ago, and he believes, as do I, is that there's going to be a change, but I don't think the change is going to be that great. I mean, not for us. I mean, maybe for people who have those gigantic platforms where they have 5 and 10 million subscribers and a whole big old studio and all that kind of nonsense. I mean, I don't think it's going to change that much for us, because if anything, I would think that they might be trying to just get rid of us altogether, as opposed to just making it more difficult for us. They would just drop our ass like a hot piece of steel and just be like, okay, we're done. We're done with the Negroes. Let's just,
we don't need y'all no more. Thanks with no thanks.
Yeah,
right.
Thanks with no thanks. We're done with the Negroes. We see y'all later. See your black asses later. That's what I think is ultimately going to come to for some of us. Now, some of us who have bigger platforms, you got like 1 million subscribers. Probably not so much, because guess what? They're making revenue off of you, especially if you have an AdSense account. They're running ads on your shit and all that kind of stuff. So they're making revenue off of you. But the smaller, like they did a while back, right? What did YouTube do? They said that you could no longer monetize unless you had at least 1,000 subscribers. And guess what? That knocked a lot of people out the box. You know why? Because it was a money thing, man.
Right.
Because it was a money thing. Because see, even though you didn't have those 1,000 subscribers, you were still able to run AdSense on your stuff. You were still able to put ads on your stuff. So you were still being paid. So everyone who had less than 1,000 subscribers, what they did is they took all that money that they would have been paying out to people for those ads, and that money got kept in the kitty. So they said they did it to make people to strive harder to have, more subscribers, but that was BS. They did it because it was a money move, man. Why you think that girl went up there and she shot YouTube up? Because see, she didn't have 1,000 subscribers, but she was getting massive hits. She was getting all kinds of views, so she was raking in some dollars. Even though she only had like 500-600 subscribers, she had videos that was getting 500,000 views and 250,000 views, even though she only had, like maybe 800-900 subscribers. So when they cut that and said, okay, you got to have 1,000 subscribers now, she said, to hell with this shit. She went right on up to YouTube headquarters and commenced the capping up in there. She commenced the capping off up in there. Like, y'all done fucked with my money, goddammit. So I can see something like that coming. I can see them saying, well, you can stay on YouTube, but to monetize and make money, you got to have 5,000 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers. I can see that coming. Okay, that I can see coming. Because just like they said, your minimum have to be 1,000. Now it's got to be 5,000, 10,000, and that's it, brother. Because I don't have 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah, they definitely gonna switch the game up. You know that, and they make it more harder because with Hangouts, at least you could have opened your content or your channel to different subscribers, or you could have gained other subscribers from joining up with different content creators and exposing your content to them for the first time.
Yep.
Now with getting rid of Hangouts, you eliminate that. You eliminate that kind of exposure, and it forces you now to kind of organically, if you want to say organically, raise your volume of subscribers. And that's just gonna be hard. Like this is a privilege for us to be on Hangouts. It exposes me to your audience. Some people who have never heard me before, and want to be and have an interest and a desire to want to follow a channel if I had one. Now we get rid of Hangouts. I don't have that exposure anymore. I got to grow my channel organically. You see what I'm saying? And they still might want to switch it up on you after they do that. You know what I'm saying? They want you to work harder with less.
Yeah.
So.
Because they're thinking about their money, man. They're thinking about that bottom line. You think they care about my black ass sitting up here on this microphone? And it ain't even just small platforms like mine. I mean, you got brothers who got 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers. Guess what? They don't give a shit about them either. They don't care about them either. They do not care about our black asses on these Hangouts. What they doing is they're restructuring. They're restructuring the whole platform to suit their needs and gain them as much capital as possible. That's what's going on in the boardroom. No one's sitting in the boardroom talking about T.P.O.T. No one's sitting in the board. They're not. Okay. They're sitting there restructuring the platform that's going to make it so they can gain the most goddamn capital, gain the most dollars. Okay. That's what they're doing. And whatever happens to us, we're just collateral damage. Because you think these people don't know that a lot of our black asses sit up here and do all kinds of shit and have all kinds of lives and hoop and holler and fuss and fight with each other. You think these white folks don't know that's what we do on here? They don't care about that shit. They don't care.
Of course they know that. Of course they know that. And as long as they're able to capitalize off that, they're going to allow it, like you said.
Yep.
But once they find a way that the bigger picture or the bigger way to capitalize off of it is not to exploit it, they won't.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Yeah,
we're out of here. I think a lot I think a lot of us gonna freaking get kicked to the curb anyway. I'm telling you, because they're gonna start something new. They're gonna be like, oh, you gotta have 5,000 subscribers. I mean, that's gonna throw my ass out because I ain't got 5,000. I'm done off if they say that shit.
But T.P.O.T, what do? We know that they got a plan for us. What is our plan for us?
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
well, a lot of brothers are, a lot of brothers are moving their stuff to, other platforms. Some brothers are getting into some radio.
Right.
Me myself, I'm actually in talks and negotiations. I talked about it earlier at the start of the stream. I'm actually in some negotiations myself for a radio spot. But I worked in radio before anyway, so that's kind of where I came from. I mean, I was doing radio before I even had a YouTube channel. I was on the radio. So, like I said, I have been in talks and some negotiations with the radio station. Nothing's been written in stone as of yet. When it does, I will be, furnishing everybody with with the information so they know what nights I'm on and stuff like that. So, I'm not saying too much about it now because, I don't know what's going to happen per se. Like I said, I'm just in talks with the station. So when I get the, thumbs up and the go about what what the situation is and the schedule and the days that I'm going to be on, I'll be publishing that, so the folks can come over and listen to me talk a bunch of old shit like I always do. But yeah, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna transfer over to radio. I'm already on Black Avenger. I mean, I've been on Black Avenger for a minute, so I got a lot of shit over there. I got
check you out. I had subscribed to a Patreon over there. I'm gonna definitely look you up, and I'm definitely gonna subscribe to your stuff over there if you over there.
Yo,
Definitely.
absolutely. Just look up Xavier over there. I'm under just Xavier.
All right.
So, you go over there. I mean, I just put some stuff up there last week. I just, I'm eventually gonna move all of my shit to Black Avenger, but that shit takes time. You gotta download and upload and wait, and and I'm a brother. I work for a living, so I don't have a lot of time to be. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't sit around this damn computer for hours and hours, especially not during the day. At nighttime, I'm good, but during the day, I be having too much shit going on. I can peep in on a stream and maybe talk a little shit here and there, but I don't have a lot of time during the day, to really fuck around with it. So I've been slowly and incrementally, adding stuff to Black Avenger, here and there. But like I said, I've been on Black Avenger for a little while, man. I mean, I've been on there for a while. You'll see some of my older shit on there, shit that'll make you laugh and shit that'll make you cry is right up there on the old Black Avenger.
Xavier, I'm gonna definitely check you out.
Yeah, I'm up there. And y'all need to go and check out Black Avenger too, man. I mean, Black Avenger, because Black Avenger, something tells me Black Avenger is going to become the new move, because Black Avenger is very YouTube-esque. That's what people don't know. It's very YouTube-esque, man. The only thing that it doesn't do, you can't live stream yet. But I think that's the brother coming.
On that. Yeah, he's working on setting up the live stream. I mean, it's not ready right now.
Yeah.
But I heard like there's talks of him getting it ready to set up live streaming. So once that pop, it's gonna be cracking over there.
Oh yeah. And I had BA on my show a while back. And he was talking about, because everybody's been on T.P.O.T, man. Every goddamn body,
I feel blessed to finally steps over here, man.
Yeah, I had him on a few months back, and he was talking about the platform and the direction he's trying to take it to and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I think it's gonna be something, man, and hopefully people support it. Hopefully people come over there and, sign up, get an account, contribute to it, donate to it, donate to the brothers just like they do on YouTube. And, I mean, he's a brother. All right.
Right.
He's a black man just like the rest of us, man, and he's put this platform out there. And I go through it, man, and I look and see who's on there. It just seems like it should be more of us on. Now, there's a lot of us on there now. There's a lot of us. You know, I see a lot of familiars. You know, I see a lot of familiars there. But
Right.
it would seem like it would be more of us, brother Great Britain, you know, because we got this black man platform, you know, the ones we always bitch about. Oh, we need our own this, we need our own that. You got it, and your motherfuckers ain't there.
Right.
And you're not there.
I think the brothers, they, you know how it go, man. You know how it go with us. We gotta see it in motion. We gotta see the progress of something first to fall behind it. And I hate that about us, but I know that about us. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the issue, even with the big to do about old man going over there and doing his farewell and going over to the Black Avenger. You know, a lot of people, you have a lot of people that doubt that he'll stay over there or it'll be a success, because in the context of it, he's the first one to announce that he's walking away from it, and he wants to do it on his terms, and he's going over there and doing it on his terms. You know what I'm saying? And announce it, and not just do it because he was forced out, which he was forced out. But people, you know, they don't see it on YouTube's size, so they doubt it. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the potential of the site, if you will, because it ain't YouTube size. So it's like, why go over there and build it when we already got it over here at YouTube? But like you said, YouTube's forcing black content creators out, black male content creators out. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna wait for YouTube to force you out, or are you gonna go on your own terms? You know what I'm saying? I think brothers got to get behind that, and they might doubt Black Avenger. I believe in Black Avenger, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
They might doubt Black Avenger. You are free to find another source. You are free to find another source. You don't want to rock with Black Avenger. You have your doubts about it. No problem. More power to you. Find another source, because eventually, like you said, YouTube is going to force you to change your content.
Yeah.
They're going to force you to change your content. And then what? You going to be up here reviewing puppy videos? Yeah. That's what you're going to, be subjected to, doing puppy review videos and shit like that? Like, what are you going to do?
Taping your damn cat playing the piano and shit.
Family friendly. That's what it's going to. Family friendly. You're not gonna really say the issues and the plight that's going on in black men's situations here. You're not gonna be able to say that. You're gonna have to only put up videos about you and your cat. That's it.
That's it. You and your cat laying on the bed and shit,
right?
Playing with a ball of yarn. You got to tape that shit.
That's all the videos. That's it. Ain't nothing else.
And see, it's becoming really, really PC now, because certain words you use, certain words you put in your title can get your shit flagged. Forget your video and what you're talking about. If you put certain words in your title, if somebody type a certain comment in your comment section, that shit alone can get your shit flagged. They don't even have to hear you.
Right, get you up out of here. Yep, you right.
I mean,
so it's forcing us to find another avenue. We gotta find another avenue that brothers could create the content that they want on their own terms. A lot of people say, I hate to go back to it, that success is subjective, man. Success is to the person who is trying to pursue it. They say that if you go to Black Avenger, you're not a success because you're going over there and it ain't gonna be the numbers that you get over here in YouTube. But I say, what is it to sacrifice the numbers that you get over here in YouTube if you could create the content that you want when you want to? I think just being able to have the privilege of creating the content that you want when you want to is a success in itself.
Absolutely.
That
Plus,
you
there's
you
no
can do
reins on your speech over there, man. You know, there's no, no one's telling you don't say this, don't say that, don't do
right.
this, don't do that. You're not hearing none of that shit. I mean, I got all kinds of shit on Black Avenger where I be talking all kinds of shit. All
Right. Going
kinds
in.
of shit.
almost like it's Patreon, right?
Yeah.
Going in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a music head. I'm from New York. I'm a music head. I like brothers who put out content that's like radio-esque. You know what I'm saying? To get away from the local radio, the shit that be on the trash that be on local radio. And a lot of times brothers was getting hit or didn't want to put out music because the copyrights. They was getting hit for the copyrights. So now you go to Black Avenger, you can still produce your content without worrying about that copyright hit or somebody flagging you for the copyright.
Exactly. It's freedom over there, man. I mean, I think that a lot of times, man, I think we're kind of fearful of that freedom because, I mean, if you have a bunch of people who have less freedom, they kind of think within, confined terms, right? Because, we all don't have the freedom. Now you get us somewhere where we got complete freedom. I think many of us just don't know what the hell to do with it, because we're so used to, being, kind of confined and, we need to be PC. You can't say this word. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. So we take you somewhere and we say, hey, look, you can talk about whatever you want. And what you get? Goddamn crickets. You get crickets because now no one wants to speak. No one wants to speak.
Look at that.
I mean, it's just crazy, man. And, I know that, like I said earlier, I know that YouTube is going to change and all that kind of stuff. But as far as this hangout stuff go, I don't think this is going to, I told Black Uru this too. I don't think this is going to change that much for us right now. I don't think it's going to change that much for us right now. I think we still going to be able to do these old crazy hangouts. I don't see much changing. I mean, of course, it may be a little different, but I think brothers is still going to be doing hangouts. It's still going to be 7 and 8 hour live streams with people arguing and fighting and threatening to kill each other and shit. So I don't think much is going to change, man. Now, if it does, I'll come on here and retract my statement. But I mean, I don't think it's going to change that much, man. I think it's going to change a little bit because I got a show tomorrow. All right, tomorrow I'm going to be talking about men misled by baby mamas. Where I'm going to be talking about the stats of the men who get themselves caught up and end up paying child support for children who are not theirs. So y'all need to tune in for that, boy. It's going to trigger the hell out of you. Yeah. So I mean, I'm going to do a show tomorrow, and whatever bullshit I gotta do to operate the stream, I'm just gonna do it. I mean, whatever that is,
I'm definitely going to do that one. Shit.
Yeah, come through, man. I mean, because what I do, like this week was one of the first weeks that I actually did, the Wednesday night shows. Because what I would normally do is my Wednesday hours of powers. I get 3 guests on, one person at 9:30, one person at 10:30, then another person at 11:30. And, I rock out with them for an hour. And then on Thursdays is Dark X Live, DXL. Those get crazy. Yeah, they be acting a stone cold fool on there. So yeah, Thursday nights is kind of like Berserker Barrage night. Huh?
I said that sound like my type of show over there.
Yeah, Thursday nights is Berserker Barrage. You gotta go and check out some of my Dark X Lives, man. You'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah,
check them out.
Yeah, you know, I have a few of the usual suspects, you know, because everybody comes through, you know, that the infomans, the Gab Talks, Jay Shine, Black Ram, Xanatos Clutch, Super Sly, BGS, you know, everybody comes through there, man. Believe it
Right.
or not, people come through there. Yeah, you'll see, but you'll see, I ain't gotta tell you, you go look at my archives, you'll see they come through, and sometimes it gets a little crazy. It sort of resembles the Rumble a little bit sometimes. You know, like
The mini
O'Shea's
Rumble
Rumble.
over here.
Yeah, sometimes that shit get like that, man. You have to rein that shit in. You're like, come on, man. Yeah, it gets a little crazy on Thursdays, man. It do. It get a little crazy on Thursdays. It does. And I know tomorrow is gonna be crazy because see, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna give you some predicted, you know, give you some, you know, proper sizing from the proper to thought. This is what's gonna happen tomorrow when I do this show. I'm gonna have a few brothers up, and we're gonna be talking about child support. We're gonna be talking about how, you know, some of these hoes lied and got these dudes hung up on child support for kids that ain't theirs. And what's gonna happen is some chicks are gonna want to come up on the panel. They're gonna be talking shit in the comment section. All right. But see, what I don't think I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to bring any women on the panel tomorrow. Now I'm not going to do that because that's usually when things kind of fly out of control anyway. You notice that on panels, things kind of fly out of control when you got women on the goddamn panels. So I'm not going to, yeah, I'm not going to I don't think I'm going to let no women, you know, be on the panel. You know, if they want to be in the chat room and they want to ask some questions in the chat room, that's fine. But I don't think they should be on this particular panel because sometimes women don't need to be nowhere talking. Yeah, they don't need to be there talking. They just don't. Okay, so tomorrow it's just gonna be the brothers because, like I said, we're gonna be talking about child support and shit like that. So that's some more male-centered conversation any damn way. So I don't really want to hear too much about what the women got to say on that. Yeah, I don't want to hear too much what they got to say. They can listen. If they got questions, they can type them in the damn chat. That's how that's gonna be. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming through, brother.
Man,
Great Britain, man.
pleasure, man.
This was good shit, man. Like I said, I've been trying to get you up here for a minute, man. And don't be no stranger, man. You're always welcome on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, brother. You know that. You know, you might fuck around and become one of the usual suspects, man. You know, as I like to call them, the usual suspects always show up. So, you know.
Now that I know where the home is at, I definitely will be a regular up over here, man.
Yeah, man, come through, especially on Thursday nights, man. I'm telling you, Thursday nights are crazy.
I got you. I definitely got you, man.
Yeah, Thursday nights is crazy, man. I appreciate you coming through, brother, man. And this was good, man. And like I said, don't let this be the last time, all right?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I'll definitely be over here, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Much respect to you, man, Prophet.
Absolutely, man. Come through tomorrow, man. I'll be looking for you.
I'm there tomorrow, man. I'm there tomorrow, shaking shit up, man.
All right.
Man.
All right. I appreciate you, brother. Peace, man.
Peace.
All right, my brother. Yeah, just got off the line with brother Great Britain. Y'all know y'all was here earlier. Y'all was listening to Black Uru drop a few. Me and Black Uru chopped it up for a minute, man, because freaking Kandy Man didn't show up. Kandy Man, you know you're gonna bring your ass on my show next week if you're watching this, right? Next week you bringing your ass on here, man. Because I just spoke to him the other day. He done stood my ass up. I don't appreciate that shit, Kandy Man. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Kandy Man, y'all. He was supposed to be first. I hit him up. He didn't get back to me. Maybe I'll hear from him tomorrow. I'll try to bring him up here next week. I actually like the Kandy Man, man. He's kind of wild, man. Those of you who aren't familiar with him, I mean, he's a pretty wild brother, man. I like him though. He's kind of wild though. So I think y'all will get a kick out of him. Like I said, he'll probably hit me up tomorrow. Maybe I'll have the Kandy Man up here next week on the Hours of Power. We'll see what happens. You know how this media stuff is, man. It's unpredictable. But I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. And also, you look down there in the description box, You can see all the brothers' channels who was here tonight. I even got Candyman channel down there, even though his ass ain't show up. But if you want to subscribe to the brothers' channel, look down there in the description box. Go ahead, hit the link. I'm sure the brothers would appreciate the support. You know, good show tonight. You know, some real live conversation. I actually felt like I was just sitting in my living room tonight, you know, just talking to the brothers with Brother GraitBritton and Black Uru. It was actually pretty low key. I liked it. I liked how it went tonight, and I hope y'all did too. But what I need you to do right now is go on down to the Proper the Thought series. That's Proper the Thought, one word, series, the next word, on Facebook. That's our community page. That's our main page. Go ahead, like the page, share the page, follow the page. Also, you can catch up with old X down there. All you got to do is drop me a message, and I'm guaranteed to get back to you between 24 and 168 hours. There's always something good going on down there. You can also keep track of what's going on the T.P.O.T YouTube page down there as well. So get on down there to the Proper Thought series Facebook page. Also, while you're on Facebook, make your way down to the Proper Thought series fan group page on Facebook. That's the Proper Thought series fan group page on Facebook. Go ahead, request to be a member. You're guaranteed to get in there quick. There's like 3,000 people down there. It's a fan group page, so it's not just old X down there running his mouth. There's other people down there, you know, posting stuff and running their old black mouths too. So get on down there to the Proper Thought series fan page. Go ahead and request to be a member. Also, check us out on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's the Proper Thought. Leave out the series, Proper Thought on Instagram. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram. You're guaranteed to get a follow back. And also, I need you to get on down there to Twitter. The Twitter handle is at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. That's at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. Go ahead, follow us on Twitter, because if you don't, I will haunt your old black mama's dreams for the rest of her miserable life. Oh, man, once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank the people in the chat. I want to thank my moderators for doing what they supposed to do. And most importantly, oh, good look on that super chat, Brother GraitBritton. Appreciate that, man. And most of all, I want to thank you for spending some time with us and watching us tonight. And I want to thank my most distinguished guests, Brother the Black Uru Strikes, and my brother GraitBritton, for coming through tonight. I appreciate both of you brothers. Also, make sure you have your black behinds here tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, as we do the DXL broadcast, Dark Exodus, live on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about men that have been misled by baby mamas. So you don't want to miss that. Have your black behinds here tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. All right? All right. So with that, I will leave you with 3 words, like I always do.
Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind.
Peace, folks.
The Prophet of Thought. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. The Prophet of Thought. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Prophet of thought. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. The prophet of thought. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. The prophet of thought. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind.
Only from T.P.O.T. Open your minds.